Welcome everybody to the GDQ Hotfix. My name is Jiggy and we have an incredible run of Pokémon Legends Arceus coming at you right now. But first, before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about the GDQ Hotfix and what we got going on. We have all kinds of different stuff going on the GDQ channel coming up. And the one I'm most excited about right now is GDQ's next all-woman and femme speedrunning event, Frost Fatales 2025. It will be live from March 9th through the 16th, benefiting the National Women's Law Center. So you can visit gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more information on that event and use !FF in the chat for the schedule. Super excited about it. It's going to be a great show. There's also, if you're interested, this has nothing to do with Frost Fatales, but we have a GDQ Hotfix Season 4 t-shirt available right now at theyeti.com/GDQ. So you can definitely go and check it out and pick it up because it's going to go away pretty soon. You got to get it before it is done. All right, without further ado, I want to jump into this Pokemon Legends Arceus run with Halkery. Halkery, how are you?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
I am so ready for this run. This is super exciting. This is one of my favorite Pokemon games. But I personally think this is the best Pokemon game in the last decade. So I know that that's maybe a hot take, but I'm pumped. I'm pumped to see this run.
I agree with it. It's easily my favorite speedrun. I've put so much time into it just because there's no way to be perfect at it. And there's always something you can learn and improve on. That's just, very, very motivating. But yeah, I'm ready to get started on this whenever you are.
Yeah, no, definitely. We can get started and then we'll introduce your co-commentators.
Okay. So the run will begin as soon as I say yes to picking Cyndaquil. That's not Cyndaquil. There we go. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so this is Pokemon Legends Arceus All Lords. If you go to speedrun.com and look for it, you may have a hard time finding it. That is because this is a category extension. What a category extension is a category that doesn't necessarily have a place on the main board, but they're still popular enough for leaderboard to be present for it. Essentially, this is any percent minus the first 12 minutes or so, and then minus the last hour. So it's going to be basically the meat of the 90% speedrun. Yeah, my name is Halkery. I haven't really had a chance to introduce myself yet. I actually have the world record for almost every category in this game. The only one I don't have is one of those aforementioned category extensions that has just been brutalized recently. But yeah, I'm really excited to show this to you guys. And I have a couple of new, fresh, young minds to the community to help me explain this to you guys.
All right, yeah, so my name is Headbob. I run all sorts of Pokemon speedruns all the way from Gen 1 to Gen 9. I recently started running this category, probably a couple months ago, seriously. I ran it when it first came out, but I only seriously started taking it seriously like a month ago or so. It's a really good speedrun, honestly. I recommend it to a lot of people. It's hard once you first get in, but once you really get good at it, it's really rewarding, so. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Truly. I also speedrun Pokemon. I top 5 in this game. I run all the Switch games. And just like Headbob, I run every generation from 1 to 9. I also think this is probably the best Pokemon game in the last decade. And yeah, I'm very excited to be here and to explain it to everybody.
That's just one of the things you should, hi, my name is this, and I also think this is the best game in the last decade. We're just going around in a circle. But yeah, Truly and Headbob are both longtime Pokemon speedrunners that just recently took the plunge into this game, which understandably, on the surface, it can be a little overwhelming to deal with since there's a lot you have to learn. But I maintain once you have a basic understanding of the game, it just becomes more and more fun the more you play it. Now, the reason that is because the progression in this game revolves around something called research points, which is based on the Pokédex. So every Pokemon has its own Pokédex entry, and you gain research points by feeding them, catching them, scaring them, a lot of different types of tasks, seeing them use moves. And these research points that you get from doing these actions are what let you progress through the game. So we'll need to do a mixture of progression just from checkpoint to checkpoint, from advancing the story, and stopping along the way to do as much of this research as we can. If you guys gonna want to go, either of you want to go more?
Yeah. So like basically so the research points, like Hawk said, I mean it's very, it takes a little bit to get into, but once you start doing the runs and you learn about the research tasks, it's just like anything else. The more you do it, you'll learn and it just sticks in your head. And so like learning the research tasks is it takes a little bit, but once you learn the research tasks, it's really fun because you can start focusing on the different things that this game offers, like all the really cool mechanics that it brings with execution, and it's just really it's very unique, and I'm very excited to watch this run.
Yeah, I think just like you really won't see anything like this in another type of Pokemon speedrun, just because of, I mean, well, first of all, you can't catch Pokemon outside of battle in any other game, which is a big deal because it makes the run very fast-paced in that sense. Like when you're moving, you're constantly just throwing balls at things, like, you know, doing various research tasks. Yep. And so it just makes it a lot harder to do quickly. And so as a result...
Oh, I don't have any Pokeballs.
Oh, no.
Wait. Wait, all right. Can you help me out? All right, cool. My bad. Sorry, guys.
Thank you, Carter.
Go ahead. Sorry.
So... this run really like, I guess like a way to put it is it's like it looks like controlled chaos is what this run is like, because there's just so much happening, and it looks like, you know, you're just throwing balls at Pokemon, you don't even know what you're doing, but it's all calculated, and it's really really cool when you break it down, and you know, like when you know, like, oh, I know I'm catching this, so I'm getting X amount of research points for this, and then I'm catching that, so I'm getting X amount of research points for that. It's just really, really cool. Like Headbob said, you're not going to see a run like this out of any other Pokemon game, honestly.
Yeah, the closest thing you can even like compare it to is Pokemon Let's Go, Let Pikachu and Eevee 80%, or Fire Leaf Green Elite Four Round 2. But those are, you know, it's kind of apples to oranges, but it's the closest thing that you can find.
Yes. Because in this game, obviously, there's a Pokemon in the overworld that you see, and there's a lot of static encounters where Pokemon, you know, they just spawn in certain areas, so you know they're going to be there. Whereas, like, you know, Fire Leaf Green or Let's Go, you don't really have control over Pokemon you see or, you know, encounters that you encounter.
All right, pop quiz gamers, what gender was my Starly?
That's the question.
I flunked out.
My Starly is male. These are the kinds of tiny differences you need to understand if you're the runner, obviously. If you're the commentator, that's, you know, not your job. That's my job.
Oh, I can see it now.
Yeah, so on the bottom, you can see kind of what I call like their profile picture. Some of the gender differences are visible in the profile picture, and the only reason that's relevant is that some Pokemon, like Starly, all right, good, Shinx got in. That was a 77% catch. Some of the Pokemon, like Starly, have a task for having caught two different forms, which in Starly's case is going to be the two genders of Starly. So that's something I got to keep in mind.
I think there's, I don't know how many there are in the run that have different genders.
Starly, Kricketune, Bidoof,
Beautifly,
Kricketot, Beautiful.
Gligar.
Ones that are relevant to
Gligar,
us.
yeah.
Yeah, Gligar. Yeah, it's really cool. Like, honestly, like, it's just like little details in this game that are so
Starly
awesome,
has
so
male
unique.
pattern
Like,
baldness. Yes, that's true. It's unironically the best way to remember it.
How dramatically, how dramatic does your starter Pokemon affect the run in this? Do you have to pick Cyndaquil? Like,
you technically don't. I think Rowlet could do its job very well, because the only thing Cyndaquil is going to be used for, really, that really sets it above anything else, is some early battles we're going to be doing just to grind levels. Because this was the first game in a long time since Coliseum to remove the ability to turn animations off. So every turn we can save is just going to add so much time, add up to so much time saved. Like, I'm going to get my clothes, put them on, join the team, get tasked with doing something when I go back out to that place I was just in, and you're going to see me go not the right way, and you're going to be very surprised that what I'm doing is going to save time, but I assure you it will. But yeah, I'll leave that as a bit of a surprise. But yeah, Cyndaquil is like
Yeah.
the best for what we need to do here.
Definitely
This
is.
next visit.
Yeah, the current route is not even close. But previously, like in the early stages of this run, Oshawott was like widely considered to be the fastest because it has, you know, a very strong final form, and you know, has Aqua Jet, which is really good early game for some research points. But for the current stage of the route right now, it's like not even close. Cyndaquil like fits every single niche we want it to. So.
Yep, Cyndaquil is higher.
Yeah, but there's actually already been a kind of a speedrunning technique I've been doing constantly that I haven't had the chance to explain yet. You may have noticed, like when I walk into cutscenes or walk into people to talk to, I'm crouching before I actually initiate those things. That's because when you run full speed into a cutscene or just enter a cutscene at all, the game will, in most cases, wait for your character to come to a complete stop before it will actually proceed with the cutscene. And the length of the animation of running full speed into a cutscene is pretty slow because your character like digs their heels into the ground and like comes to a very slow stop where they almost fall over forward. And it's very, very slow. It's actually faster to walk into a cutscene crouched, where all the game has to do to get you to neutral is just stand you up. So it doesn't save that much per instance, but there's about 30 instances throughout the run that we're going to do. It has the potential to save us like at least like 20 seconds throughout the run.
That's pretty crazy that it's that many.
Yeah.
It's like
in an ideal
0.5 per instance or something.
in an ideal world, like we would always just like stop right before the cutscene trigger and just like move very slightly into it. And that's like a little bit faster than crouching, but crouching is like a really good way to standardize that.
Yeah, what Headbob's referring to is the crouchless cancel, which is a bit too advanced for the youngsters.
Yeah.
And I understand, especially with like cutscenes that involve proximity and like specific areas, like actual triggers, as opposed to like talking to somebody. Because you can do a crouchless cancel pretty consistently if your only thing that initiates it is pressing A. But if you have to like walk into a specific area and do this, it's very difficult.
Yeah, as long as you're not getting that really long running animation, you're saving a little bit of time. It takes a lot for you to like actually lose time doing a crouch cancel.
Okay, so before I forget, I did just kind of gloss over it, but yes, I did deposit my Pokeballs at the beginning. That's because once I walked forward when I went out there and did my trial to catch the 3 Pokemon that are in this area, once I walked forward from the starting area, I was unable to go backwards to the box. So as far as the game is concerned, I had thrown all of my Pokeballs. So the game needs to have a soft block prevention to help me out of that situation. The game doesn't care where my Pokeballs went, it just knows I have 0. So by talking to that, we can kind of scam Akari out of 20 more Pokeballs, which is really helpful because money is insanely tight in the beginning.
So which would give you 20 more if you got rid of those 20s he gives you?
Yeah, but you wouldn't. Your net worth on Pokeballs wouldn't really increase. So you'd just lose a lot of time. But yes, she would.
I do remember like my one like critique with this game was that I felt like I never had enough Pokeballs, like ever, until the end game.
I think considering how tight the 20 plus the 20 Pokeballs is, it feels insane to me that we used to go get away with just 20 and just not.
Wait, y'all didn't deposit at the beginning, I guess.
Well, I mean, yeah, like there was a point where
that was a shady discovery.
Yeah. And so it was
been
really
at least,
tight.
like March when it was found.
Yeah.
That's when Shady started running.
Yeah, it just blows my mind that was ever feasible.
But I mean, before Shady, we were just using Pokeballs for the entire game. We weren't even making.
That is true.
That is crazy.
And everyone understandably hated the game because catch rates with just Pokeballs are awful.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I guess we were all like scared about unlocking the crafting shop because there was like, oh, there's an extra request that you have to sit through or something. So we just threw Pokeballs at 30% catches instead of going for ones that actually make sense.
That's something that's pretty cool about this game too, is that you can farm a lot of your items instead of buying them. We do still buy stuff later in the run, but it's really cool that you can farm for the most part. Like everything you farm in the first area, you use in the second area. Usually, not always, but yeah, it is really cool how that's the case because we'd probably have to buy them every single time if we couldn't farm our items.
Yes, to answer the question about Cyndaquil, Cyndaquil is actually going to stop being used after the first area of 5 areas. So we're only going to be using Cyndaquil for like the first 45 minutes.
That's what's awesome about this game too, is that you change mains basically every single area.
Yeah, again, not something you'd ever see in any other Pokemon game for the most part.
This game's like loop though is just so good. Like I just seeing this again, even though you know with you all doing the speed run, of course, but like just seeing it again just makes me want to pick up the game because it's just so fun.
It really is. It's something about it is just so addicting. It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that with the next Legends style game, we're going to get kind of the same gameplay loop at least.
Okay, so Beautifly is another one of the Pokemon where the gender matters. So this one's a male. You can tell by the red spots on its back. We want to try and get 2 different genders at some point, whether it be via catching 2 Beautiflies of different genders at some point or evolving a Silcoon of an opposite gender. Because that is, you know, part of the way we finish Beautifly.
Yep, and luckily Hauck did actually catch a Silcoon, so it's actually going to be nice to finish that later.
Yeah, so I actually have the points.
It's also kind of wild. I was gonna say it's a little wild that you know your Cyndaquil's level 8 and you're going up against a level 20 Beautifly. Like,
sorry, my Cyndaquil's level 14. I don't know who Cyndaquil you're referring to.
Yeah, just leveled up 6 times.
Yeah, this is one of the big things that Cyndaquil is great for because obviously you need to get a lot of experience in this early game to evolve things, to get more research points in order to hit that 500 point threshold to get out of this first little segment.
Good levels.
Yeah. So it is, and also this is something you can do as well if you don't catch a Beautifly like how didn't. You can opt to kill 3 of these, and that'll get your experience like basically good every single time killing 3. But there is situations where you don't get your Cyndaquil to a high enough level where you can see at the bottom right where Hauck's Cyndaquil is now level 18, but sometimes it doesn't even get to level 17 if you don't get enough. Or if your Beautifly you caught and the Beautiflies that you knocked out weren't high enough level, sometimes you can.
Yeah, some combination of 18, 18, and 19. The Beautifly spawn in levels 18 through 22 at random. So if you get like 2 18s and a 19, you can be in kind of trouble for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, by the way, we are just now going the way that we were intended.
Sure.
That's why I said like we went really far out of the way for seemingly no reason. We are now doing the progression.
Talk to me a little bit about the chucking the Pokeball at the back of the Pokemon. Like how dramatic does that help?
So it's really helpful for Beautifly because when you throw like Cyndaquil's Pokeball, for example, at the back of Beautifly, it makes them unaware. So what that means is it won't be able to act the first turn of battle, and also you will always go first, regardless of the difference in speed. And so doing that allows us to basically have a chance at killing Beautiflies consistently.
And I actually got really lucky because my Beautifly, the first one I fought, actually was unable to attack 2 turns in a row.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's kind of the problem when you have to kill 3 is that it can be a little scary. You have to give it a turn. But in Hauck's case, he had to give it 2 potentially. But
yeah, there's some safe strategies you can do. You can actually run out of the range of the battle to end it and reinitiate with a backstrike to go first again and essentially just kind of scam it.
And also when you're in the overworld and you opt to do a backstrike on a Pokemon compared to just throwing it on the front side, that adds 4%, I believe, catch rate. Or so it's a 4% higher catch rate.
It depends. It's the catch rate bonuses are multiplicative. So if you don't have very many of them, it hardly matters, like you said. But like if you're feeding a Pokemon a berry and they've already eaten a raspberry and all this other stuff and then you stun it, a backstrike could like double the catch rate. It depends on what other multipliers are in place.
I think Silcoon's in your party.
Sure is.
Sure is.
So actually, even though I didn't catch a Beautifly, I still get to leave to stay with Beautifly research, which is great.
Yeah. So if Halleck didn't go this right way to do the whole Beautifly shenanigans, he wouldn't be able to evolve like any of these Pokemon for a very much longer period of time. And because we did this, we have enough Embers to have finished Cyndaquil when we evolve. So Cyndaquil will be done. And so we don't have to do anything really.
So the reason why this became the strategy, I remember specifically, I was like posting clips of the Japanese players doing this. I was laughing, like, what are they doing? This is silly. But the thing to keep in mind is right now we are tasked with getting 500 points to get out of here. So the reason this saves time is these evolutions are going to take place anyway at some point down the line. So the thing that makes them great is that they work for us right now to get us past this little hump in the road, to get us these 500 points to leave. Because the strategy used to be to just, all those cutscenes that I just did with Rival, you're supposed to catch Bidoofs and catch Starlies in spot. You have to catch 5 Starlies. You had to hope for a Mime Jr. and an Eevee to spawn next to each other. And just, it took so long. But now we don't have to do any of that because we already have 500 points at least.
And then having all this extra experience will help a lot for the fights in the rest of the Obsidian Fieldlands when we come back afterwards. You save lots of turns.
So I did that because I just realized I never set up the replay buffer, but that's fine. If you want, one of you guys want to explain the replay buffer?
Oh yeah, replay buffer is basically it's a feature that's in OBS that you can just use. If you look at your OBS, you'll probably see it. It literally says start replay buffer, just basically under recording or something. Nice crowd cancel. But yeah, basically what it does, you can set it up to where if you set it up where enter is your button, your hotkey. It basically just takes a little clip of the last however long you want it to be. It can be 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. And then it basically allows you to scroll through your research so Hal can see basically everything that he has done at any given time. That way he can kind of keep going in the run, but he doesn't get caught up by having to, slowly look through his research and figure out what he needs. He can kind of just quickly scroll through it all, take a quick little replay buffer, and as he's setting through these cutscenes, you can actually look back at that and see exactly what you need. Another thing with these cutscenes, as a runner, it really gives you a lot. This run, you really need a little bit of time to kind of just wind down in some of these really high execution moments where sometimes you're going 10, 15 minutes just nonstop, just full throttle. So yeah, these cutscenes really give you some time to kind of relax and be and just regain yourself and just see what you have to do for the next segment. So it's really cool that the replay buffer exists.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's gonna work today, so I'm gonna have to. I mean, it's no different than if I were at a marathon in person and had to do this. So I've done this in person before, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a nice tool because as long as I've been running Pokemon, which I started technically running Pokemon in 2014 when I started running Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, which we kind of governed by the same rules. As long as I've been around, Pokemon speedruns have required video for submissions. So if you're required to record your run anyway, you might as well have the recording work for you in some capacity. That's just been my philosophy about it.
Yeah, it's basically just taking a little Twitch clip that it just saves to your computer that you can just look at right away.
It's no different than being yo, chat, what were my stats back there?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the good thing about Palava being 18, rather than 17, is that we have access to Flame Wheel, which always kills, and otherwise you'd have to use a strong Ember, and at level 17 it's a range kill.
Yeah, that Pikachu can be kind of annoying sometimes if you're level 17 and miss the range. Well, it'll always Thunder Wave you, so I'm pretty sure at least. But, and then you can get kind of
shock, but it will do one of those two things.
Yeah, and then you can kind of get put in the cycle where you're just getting paralyzed every turn, and I'm sure we'll talk about that later with the statuses and battling, because this game did introduce some new battle mechanics, and it's not like every other Pokemon game. Even in the overworld, obviously it's not, but also in the battles, it is different than traditional Pokemon games as well.
Oh yeah, I did just kind of gloss over the word strong. If you guys want to explain that, they're explaining that in the game right now.
So yeah,
you got it, Bob.
So I mean, Legends Arceus has a completely different battle system than the regular game. A lot of different moves are changed. but fundamentally the style of battling is completely different. So first of all, we have speed is like not really a thing anymore. It influences a little bit, but it's replaced by something called action speed. So your speed gets put into like a bracket, and then different moves that you use can influence your action speed versus the opponent's action speed, and whoever has the lower action speed can go at any given point. And so sometimes this can result in a Pokemon attacking more than once at a time, for example. And so the agile versus strong style thing is agile will either, depending on the move, it'll either increase the opponent's action speed or decrease yours, which basically allows you to go first faster. And strong style is the opposite, except it does more damage with your attacks. So it'll make you go a bit longer without your turn.
Hawk waiting a little bit there. That way he can get the unspotted catch on the starter lane.
Or try.
Or try to, yeah.
Yeah.
He only caught 2 Shinx on the first day, so you do need to catch a Shinx here. Ideally, just gets in, please.
Fine, I have 5 spoiled apricorns.
Okay.
That's a bit disgusting.
Hopefully that gets in.
If it didn't, it's earned its freedom, honestly. Like, if it gets out of a stunned backstrike and a regular backstrike, it's earned it.
Yeah, earned. Yeah.
I was looking, because, like, I don't know if you saw me make a face there, but, like, I decided to quickly scroll to my spoiled apricorns, and I had 3 when I started this day, and I was ready to say the number 3 again, but then I looked back and I had 5. Like, that's a wild number for this early.
Yeah, so basically, every time you catch a Pokemon, I don't know the exact percentage, but there's a percentage that it drops an item. I'm pretty sure it's on Bulbapedia. You can look at like everything it drops by the percentage, but yeah, I think it's like a 20% chance or roughly that it drops you as spoiled every time, and every Pokemon drops different things. So it basically is random. So sometimes you can have like Hawk has 5 or 9 is 4, but sometimes you have 10, sometimes you have none. That's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, and stuns are very important for the run because it's a very fast way of getting a research. And some mons kind of just rely on being able to stun to finish their entries, like Carnivine or Golduck, or there's a bunch of different ones, and it's much faster than some of the other alternatives.
Yeah, and I know it seems kind of weird to rely on something that's like luck dependent like that, but like you do so many catches, you interact with so many things that can drop split apricorns, your odds of getting 0 or like an insufficient number at the beginning are extremely low. Yeah. Like on average, I think everyone leaves the first area of the game with 2 at least, which is enough to do the initial part of the second area.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if that's the average, but that's like the minimum people leave with typically.
Yep. Luckily, you don't really need stun items in this first area. Second area is where they start becoming more relevant.
I mean, if Shinx wants to mess around and
exactly. Like, it's really nice in the situation that Hal got put in because, like, where for one you didn't get the stun. Well, there's a little stun lock thing. Maybe we can explain that later. But it's just nice to have that thing to back on.
Yeah, it's just like a faster way to catch something when it's already aggroed on you.
Yep. And these 2 Cricketots are always static. They're going to spawn here. They can spawn in like little weird areas, but
wow.
Yeah, it's just going to that Shree's shaking as well. Cricketot is feed 2, catch 3, 2 unspotted. That's another cool little thing too. You can see every once in a while. You see this stuff on Hawks at the top left. Sometimes you just have to wait for it to catch up to what you're doing. So you see me got the second Cricketot unspotted there. So sometimes you catch something, you're like, oh boy, I hope that was unspotted, or I hope that was heavy. And there's just like a delayed reaction sometimes for if it shows up or not. It's heavy.
Yeah, not too heavy unless this one is also heavy. That didn't look very big. Although that's not necessarily how it works, but
yeah, no.
Size and weight are slightly correlated.
Yeah, Geodude is a very interesting Pokemon because, like, typically you don't get very much research on it, but also if you get 2 heavy Geodudes, you can just finish both Geodude and Graveler. So, like, it's a very large swing of research potentially if you get lucky.
If you go look at the research table, the thing to consider that may not be obvious is a heavy Geodude will always evolve into a heavy Graveler. that I don't know if that's the case for every evolutionary line necessarily, but 20% of Geodudes are heavy and 21% of Gravelers are heavy. So 1% of the Geodudes get promoted to heavy upon evolution.
So yeah, that's another thing with this game too. And so some Pokemon, or a lot of Pokemon, have tasks where you get research points for evolving them. And sometimes, you know, like it doesn't. So like, say you want to evolve Silcoon into Beautifly, not only does that count for a evolve for, or I guess Wurmple's a better example. You want to evolve Wurmple into your Silcoon. Not only would that count as an evolution task for Wurmple, but it also will count for evolution task for Silcoon. So we also use that in our favor. Like they were talking about, that's something that can happen with Graveler. If you get put in a situation where you do get 2 heavy Geodudes and you want to evolve them into Graveler. I think that's just optimal if you get 2 heavy Geodudes to do that, but
yes, definitely.
Yeah, very rare and something that just doesn't happen everywhere. I don't know the exact chance for like any given Geodude to be heavy, probably like 1 in 5 or something like that. But
and also another thing,
give or take, but whatever.
Another thing that's worth noting about this is like you also have to, in the scenario that you have 2 heavy Geodudes, you also have to know exactly which 2 are heavy because you have to be those have to be the ones that you have to evolve.
True.
Yeah. And so my case here, I actually have no idea which one of the first 2 was heavy. Just because of when the notification popped up on the side. I can find out if I go check their summaries, but that may not be worth it.
Yeah.
And you can tell like if they're side by side, but like obviously we don't have time to pull them.
No, you can't even. You can't because like really? I've had a run where I had 2 Beedoops that were next to each other, and one of them was visibly larger than the other. But the game tried to tell me the smaller one was heavy, and I'm just ever since then I've never trusted the size of something. Like
that Cricket Scene was a range with quick attack air lace, by the way. But
I did not like the quick attack damage. I thought it was gonna miss it. But luckily, it was fine.
For the most part, all the battles in this route are very consistent. There's some in the end game that we won't be doing in this run that can kind of swing the run in like 30 seconds any given direction, or like lose 30 or whatever. Just don't lose the time, I guess. But yeah. Like battling in this game is very slow and turns are very slow. Obviously, when you can catch all your Pokemon in the overworld, you want to be spending less time in battle when you don't have to. So, yeah, sometimes you can lose a lot of time by just losing a single turn or...
Yeah.
All right, so no heavy Bidoofs yet. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bidoof is also one that you always... In order to finish it, majority of the time, you do need to get at least 1 heavy, which it's 1 in 5, 20% for any given Bidoof that you see to be heavy. So yeah, sometimes you just get trolled on Bidoof and you don't get a heavy, you don't catch 12 of them, and you just can't finish it. It's just sadly how it is sometimes. It is still Pokemon after all. There is still some RNG that we depend on to go in our favor.
But one thing I was wanting to mention earlier when we were comparing this to other games. In Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, for example, if you're sitting there face to face with like a Clefairy and it won't get in, you can't just run away from the Clefairy. You're kind of stuck there until it decides to get in, right? But with this game, if for example, with the Geodudes, for example, I didn't get 3 heavies. I'm not going to sit there and wait for another heavy or. I can make a different plan. I can pivot to something else. And the partial credit that I got on such a thing is perfectly fine. Everything you do, as long as you get a catch on something, contributes to your overall total. Because all you need is a certain point number.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of value in just like having a lot of extra points, even if you're like not necessarily completing something. Just to like supplement your total. You don't have to rely on certain things later on getting in. So coming into like, Coronet Highlands, a place where like the catch rates aren't exactly the best, with a lot of extra points can kind of be rewarding, especially in a no reset kind of scenario like this.
That's the thing, is like, that's another thing that makes this game so brilliant. Not everyone agrees with that. I do. I am probably the author of the school of thought of just build up points early. But there are people that do significantly, they do very well. Just kind of getting by with the minimum and then just doing everything Coronet has to offer.
Definitely.
Chief among them being Kitamura, the #1 player in Japan. there's like a 2-minute difference on the Japanese leaderboard. It's like a 2-minute difference between when we finish Crimson Mirelands, which is area 2. But I have like 1,000 more points than he does.
Yep.
But at the end of the run, we converge because whatever he doesn't do early, he has to do later, and I just get to skip things. So there's no right way to play this game. That's what's great.
Exactly. That's just something really cool about this game. There's so many different ways to do things and so many different ways to finish any given Pokemon that it's very unique, and it kind of works in your favor to know the ins and outs of the research task. And I don't know if we talked about it, but any given research task that you complete is worth 10, but there is also on every Pokemon a research task that is worth double, which is 2. So sometimes the feeding task is worth double, so it's really easy to finish them on because you're getting double points for that, or it's double for stunning or scaring. It's really cool how you can mix and match research tasks together to finish Pokemon. And the more you play the game, the more you master it, you just kind of get a feel for these things. Different things you can do and different ways you can finish Pokemon.
Yeah, I slightly alluded to it earlier, but this is also a brilliant game in that any singular minute you spend playing it will improve you as a player in some way, shape, or form. Like, for example, in older Pokemon games, like X and Y, because it's just something we were talking about before the show. If you want to learn how to do a certain fight, you have to have a save file that has the exact team you're going to have, with the exact EVs that you would have at that point, with the exact level it should be at. But with this game, you can just boot up the game and run around the first area and practice getting on and off your mount Pokemon and practice throwing balls. And every second you're spending you're getting better at the game, as long as you're being conscious about what you're doing. So it doesn't really require specific save files just for practice, although people do prefer that sometimes, just to have an understanding of what to do with cutscenes that you can only watch once. But yeah, you can get better playing this game just playing it.
Yeah, like literally, if you have a finished file right now on your Switch, you could just boot it up, get some Pokeballs, get some Sun items, get some berries, and literally just run around and just learn what Pokemon are and how to complete them.
I thought you were going to say that every second you play this game just makes you a better person.
Yeah, just turn on the Switch and idle.
It just makes
just
you a better
away.
person. Yeah.
Wow, I should get on that.
I had a train of thought.
So I mean, the whole double point thing, that's basically what the whole routing of this game is entirely based around. Like, we know all the different tasks of every single Pokemon, and we know which ones are double point, and those ones will be double point every single time. And so we use that information to decide which Pokemon are worth doing, and which ones are not, which ones take too much time to do.
I'm so dumb. I meant to get a second one club. That's fine. I just got kind of thrown off by accidentally depositing things.
Sorry. Maybe bring it to Crimson or something if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Kind of
the cool thing too is you can kind of mix and match Pokemon. Like, not every run you're going to be bringing certain not everyone you're going to be using the same mon in every situation. Like, when you go to a certain area, you can use, since we're not on these battles all the time and we're using different moves and different things, sometimes you can use that to your advantage to bring a mon that you need to use X move to finish it by simply getting 10 points by using that move. Yeah, right there, I'm pretty sure, what is that, 30 points you just got by using an Ember and the Agile, so.
Yeah, again, like, back to the school of thought thing. There's people that, prefer, to not use a Agile or strong move on the Paris there, because you kill Paris because it has a task of being defeated by a fire type move. But I find that it helps me get to 1,800 points faster, which is important for something I guess we'll explain later. Because, it helps Quilava get finished, which another thing we need to explain. When you get a Pokemon to 100 research points or rank 10, you get a bonus 100 points. So it's very important to finish as many Pokemon as you can.
Yeah. That's, kind of the whole, guts of this game is, getting that. Because that's a huge bonus, an extra 100 points on top of the 100 you have just for doing that. That's, huge. So, it would be a lot harder to finish this game by just catching every Pokemon you see and not finishing any of them. You would be much further from the amount of points we need.
Very nice Baneri spawns here too. Sometimes you can get kind of trolled in this area with on these spawn, on every single spawn you see here, it can be either Psyduck or Baneri. So yeah, sometimes you can get kind of trolled and it can be just nothing but Psyducks. Luckily, I got 3 Baneris there, which makes it very easy when you get 3 Baneris there to finish it. Because feeding it is one of the tasks to finish Baneri. I'm gonna kill this Psyduck, which Psyduck has a task to defeat it with a electric move. And luckily, we need to use a Thunder Fang with Luxio anyways, so it just works out that...
Yeah, so you're getting an idea of what I meant by going from point A to point B and just trying to do as much as you can on the way. This is like the perfect kind of visualization of that.
Especially while you're on foot here, it's very nice just to kind of be able to do as much as you can on this day. Because the next time we come through this area, we're actually going to be on our Mount Mon, which is... we'll see that in a minute, but yeah. You definitely want to not be getting off weirder as much if possible.
Yeah, the defeat ones aren't exactly the fastest, so you want to, like you basically have the same speed like in battle as you do out of battle when you don't have access to weird area. So by doing it on this day, like there's basically no time loss.
This is another one of those instances where we need to use moves with our Pokemon to finish it. It's double points for quick attack with Shinx, I believe. And
actually, something that may not be obvious is that acid spray that Gumi just did may help me down the line.
True.
Because I have the ability to catch Gumi, and when a Pokedex entry says, "Oh, see this Pokemon use this move," it doesn't matter if it's yours. As long as you see it happen in a traditional battle, then it counts. So that'll count if I catch Gumi later.
And as long as you've caught it, yeah.
And basically, like we were talking about, I mean, you're basically taking advantage of all these battles because there's not many battles in this game, honestly. I think probably like 20 max. That's probably overshooting it, but every battle you get in, especially while you're trying to complete your research and get to the 8,500 mark that we want to get to, we're basically taking advantage of these battles to use mons, use moves, and just complete things as we go. And we'll be using that everywhere, literally until the end of the run. So, or until we'll talk about that later. Gonna do a couple evolutions. Actually, if this goes into Silcoon, he actually can finish not only Silcoon, but he also can finish Beautifly, because
huge.
That's
actually huge.
Yeah. So yeah, since he caught the Silcoon earlier that was female, he evolved that into the female Beautifly. He's now going to evolve this Silcoon that is a male gender. It's going to evolve that into a Beautifly, and that's
technically because I did 3-kill. I didn't need it to be a different gender necessarily, but it just helps. And it was a force of habit to withdraw the other gender.
Yeah.
I don't know if you even noticed that I did that, but when I went to go to the box to withdraw, I made sure that the Wurmple I pulled out was male.
I mean, also it's just extra points. Like,
yeah, it's literally just 10 extra.
You might as well.
Free. Yeah. But like I said, it's a good habit to build.
Yeah, exactly. It's nice to not have to depend on catching things later. Because sometimes, like, you're like, oh, the Beautifly is not that unlikely to get in, but it can definitely troll you sometimes and just not get in. I've had runs that needed one that just...
Yeah, technically what I did there was unoptimal. It's technically faster to go catch... Actually, no, it's not because of Silcoon. But, in most cases, evolving up into Beautifly is kind of a waste. Because technically you can catch them later, but, they also can technically break out a lot. So I'd rather not. Okay, so the 1,800 points thing. Basically, like I said, progression is going to be governed by us accomplishing these research tasks. And I did just hit the threshold for the first rank up, or the second rank up, I guess. It's actually better to rank up on this day as opposed to when we beat Cleavor and leave the area, because we're actually going to be warping right from where we're standing right now. And Celine is like right there. So it actually saves a lot of time. Especially because this is the only time you can rank up with Celine where you can warp immediately after. Otherwise, you have to run into her office and run out of her office.
Actually, 2,100 is actually a lot for this point.
Yeah.
Yes.
I may have finished Wurmple early with that number. That'd be great.
And yeah, so Bidoof is still not finished, but technically a potential upside of Bidoof, not having a heavy Bidoof at this point, is if you get a heavy Bidoof and catch 12, you don't have to evolve a Bidoof at all, which can save some time. Or you could just opt to drop it altogether, and that's also fine. You could do something else. Yes, to finish it here, he'll need to catch 5 more Bidoofs. He has 7 Bidoofs right now. And there's not many opportunities left, so it might be a little tricky.
And a big thing of this game at the top level, No, a big thing about this game that like at the top level is not only you want to be catching things, but you also don't want to be waiting around too long for things either. You kind of want to stay in constant motion and keep going forward to where you're trying to get to, because there's always, well, for the most part, there's always something you can do later to make up for things you missed, but you can only miss so many things before you start
run out of options.
Yeah, you run out of options. So you kind of sometimes you hit a wall where you kind of need things and you have to stay for things. But
so one of the things I always tell new players is like I watch them play and like something will break out and they will just U-turn and go back. I'm like, no, do not do that. You are losing time. Just with the amount of time you spent, if you turning around and going to go back and do that is less than 20 seconds, great. Otherwise, you're better off starting and committing to a brand new research entry and just completing that outright. Because most of the things we're going to be doing here, like throughout the run, the average time to complete the Pokedex entry is like 25 to 30 seconds.
Yeah.
There's also mons that sometimes like a good example of that Hawk was talking about, just doing like a 180 and turning around is like Kricketot, for example. Like you don't need Kricketot in this area. You don't need to finish it in this area because in Crimson Mirelands there's a ton of spawns where you can get one of those.
Yeah, that's the case for a lot of stuff.
It's a really cool tech that Hawk just used there.
How is it not a backstroke?
That's crazy.
I lined that up too. I'm mad.
Yeah, unfortunately we didn't see a Staravia on the first day, so we have to catch it today. We need the kill on Staravia in order to finish it, otherwise we would have had to evolve another Starly, which is kind of not good.
Sometimes you can get really lucky with the spawns there where you get the kill and the catch, basically back to back. Not sure how many catches you have here with Bidoof. Yeah, I wonder what happened with Bidoof. 9.
Oh well.
Yeah, if I finish Bidoof, it's going to come from evolving or some combination of them.
Yeah. Yeah, Bidoof is kind of on the ropes now.
Yep.
I was kind of hoping I can catch a side up. I didn't Okay, I was kind of scared of starting to get foggy, but it's actually just cloudy.
Oh yeah, one of the joys of this game. Weather is like random everywhere, and if anyone recalls from Gen 4, there was a mechanic called fog on one of the routes of the game that increases or decreases your accuracy by a huge margin. That returned for this game, so that can just happen on any fight in the entire game at random. And depending on the fight, it can be really, really devastating.
It's cool that you run through this area twice because you do farm all these items that you run past 2 times. You get a chance to farm them all twice, which is really cool.
Yeah, under no circumstances do you have it handed a BDSP, but they did get rid of fog, which was nice. The fog route is now the misty terrain route.
It's actually crazy to just think that BDSP came before this game.
But luckily, we're making a bigger deal out of it than it is. Fog is like 5%.
It's very easy to start talking about Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl and comparing it to this game. But the one thing that I will say is that we all have to remember that I Love Computer Art did their best with 5 months of dev time.
I love computer art. With the full government name.
They did their best with their 2 weeks notice to make the entire Gen 4 remake.
I'm actually highly offended that you just doxed them, but whatever.
Oh yeah, so now this is the first Lord in our All Lords run here. We finally got here. This is the Lord Cleavor. This is another thing that was in this game that is unique to this game, is you have legitimate boss battles here. Well, it's a boss battle, but it's technically a noble battle. That's what these Pokemon are technically called.
Yeah, there's a lot of skill to this. You can lose a lot of time to these kind of fights if you're a new player. So it's definitely worth practicing.
Or if you're an experienced player, no one's safe.
Yeah, cool little tech here. Hulk is pretty much pinching himself in between the wall and Cleavor. That way, Cleavor's hitbox is so big that when you're in between it and the wall, basically when it charges at you, its hitbox is so big it's going to hit the wall before it hits you. So that basically allows you to do this whole fight without getting knocked down or having to do any crazy dodges. When you just get him in this spot, just basically at the very beginning of the fight, you just keep him there the whole time, nice and easy.
I love the concept of how do we get the player involved with the boss fight? Well, they can just chuck dirt at them.
It's not very well explained in the game.
I don't think I ever like threw my Pokemon at it either, like it says you can. I don't know if I did that.
I think I might have done it for Cleavor, but then I realized that it was just time consuming. Like you only do it at certain points when
How does it
like,
work
stunned.
though? Does it just does it have HP or does it keep its big
I think if you
HP
clear,
bar?
like you go into a normal battle, and I believe if you get it to 0, it takes a chunk off the HP.
Yeah,
but it's not enough
interesting.
to, which is like it's not that much, which is why
Yeah, it's not that
better to
much.
Keep throwing bombs.
I don't know. If I was a noble Pokemon and the protagonist was throwing dirt at me, I don't think I'd be effectively calmed. You know, like I feel like maybe it'd be a little worse actually.
A little angry.
But you know,
Blast.
to each their own. So yeah,
And that is Obsidian Field Dance. Alex gonna do this little menu. Gonna grab Paris or yep.
Yeah, I'm not really into. I see absolutely no reason to finish Wurmple.
Yeah, I mean it's fine.
Well, actually,
You can always
that
bring
sucks.
it to you
That
can bring it to
sucks so
coastlines
bad.
though.
I literally needed one more Wurmple to finish it. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize it was rank 8. Oh well, that's fine.
and so also typically you would have caught one Psyduck here. Because we haven't caught any, means we have to catch at least 3 in the next area. Which you want to catch at least 2 anyway for just like some safety on the fights. Having one Psyduck can be like pretty scary for some of the fights that we do in there. But for Psyduck, to finish Psyduck, we need to have killed it with electric move, which we've already done. Catch 3, use 3 confusions, and then either get a heavy or feed 1 to finish that. And so we'll be on the lookout for that. 'Cause I don't think a Psyduck 8, right? So we need a heavy or 6 spot.
Oh no, I didn't feed a Psyduck. There was no Psyducks within.
Yeah, no
feeding
feeder
range.
catches. Yeah.
Like the first spot I saw was Baneri, and then the 3 right below me were also Baneri. So.
Yeah. There's opportunities. Like when you're feeding Badoo later, there's a Psyduck that's kind of nearby that you can feed for not too much time loss. If it comes to that. But hopefully we just get a heavy on one of the 3 that we catch, and we don't have to worry about it.
And heavy, I'll have to make a note about Bidoof.
Oh yeah.
So right now I'm in the spot where if I want Bidoof finished, I'm gonna have to evolve it. Which I will make that choice later because there's a chance that I'm so well off on points, it's just not even worth it. Because you don't want to ever have too much, you know? Because like there's
There's a
some
line, for
Pokemon that
sure.
are just so natural to just do along your natural, like regular progression of the area, that it's not worth like just doing all these evolutions that where you're just sitting in a menu waiting for the evolution to finish when you'll walk right past things that would take like 2 seconds to like throw a Spilidicorn at or something.
Yeah. So
Kind
like,
of gotta weigh it all out.
yeah, the counter argument to like getting a bunch of points early and just whatever is a lot of the stuff that you have to do to finish entries early on into the game are like gonna be slower because you just have access to less resources and whatnot. But
I'm just talking about I have 5 spoileds and 3 mud balls. I'm chilling. Chilling so hard right now.
like
I even used 2 of them.
For example, one of the last potential entries in the game, Mischievous, it's very inconsistent, but if you can get a fast one, it can be like less than 20 seconds to finish the entire Pokemon. So like a lot of the faster mons will be later on in the game, and so coming into Coronet Highlands with less points means that you can theoretically get like a really, really fast time, but it's just a lot less consistent.
Yeah, Mischievous was one of my few like 100% my contributions to the run. And like even now, just because of the way I play, it's it's kind of unsafe for me, just because there's an Alpha Mismagius there, and if it sees you, which when you're on a stealth spray, which I'll explain later, it's kind of RNG whether it sees you or not. If it sees you, all the Mistrevises scatter usually. So it's like, if that's something you're relying on to finish, it kind of kills your run in the water.
Yeah.
So it's again, this game is like 99% personal preference.
Slots.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, we have a good Ginter. Let's go.
Yeah, so this is Ginter. He will sell you random. He gives you 3 random items he can sell. I think after each area, more things open up. He can give you more stuff. Yeah, that was a very, very good Ginter. Normally you would also shop at the lady standing next to him, but since how it got stealth sprays, that allows him to skip the shop next to that, because that's actually where we buy the items to make stealth sprays. But since Ginter sold us them, it's faster to just skip her and move on with our day.
Not even faster. It's also cheaper. Like Ginter sells you these set items at half the cost it would cost you to go buy the items yourself and then craft it yourself. You know, it's just objectively a good deal. But like, I guess cakes are interesting if one of you wants to explain cakes, because technically we won't have the recipe for that for a while.
Yeah. Cakes, basically each Pokemon have specific categories of food that they like. I probably should have pulled up my cake preference sheet. So for example, how it got mushroom cakes. So mushroom cakes are probably the best cake in the game that you can get, because basically everything likes them. And it essentially makes the Pokemon like guaranteed to get in with any given ball, basically any point. So I guess what he'll be using the mushroom cakes on probably Teddy Ursa. Teddy Ursa's a really big one. What are some other ones? I just can't think off the top of my head.
I'm actually gonna actually real quick. Technically, bean cakes are the best, but
you can't buy them.
For some reason, they're the only kind of cake that you can't buy from the very first generation of Ginter. And normally people don't even bother after that, so it's usually out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is, but
yeah, like Truly said, mushroom cakes for Teddy Ursa. Teddy Ursa is a very it's kind of a scary Pokemon, because if it's the same kind of thing, if the Alpha Ursa ring sees you, it's just all over for them on, basically.
Okay, so just to kind of segue into a stealth spray mechanic, I want to clarify something in chat. You are not invisible on a stealth spray. You are inaudible. That is a massive difference. You know, I wouldn't go so hard on that, but like I literally had somebody who's learning the game, like I've been coaching in DMs, being like, I put up the stealth spray, but it still saw me. I'm like, dude, it's not an invisibility potion. It's literally just, it silences your footsteps. You cannot be heard. You can still very much be seen, and I'm sure everybody who's tried to pick up this game that didn't know that has learned that the hard way.
Yes.
Hearing interval bit.
But
So I was gonna use all the items that he.
I had 3 Stardust.
You didn't have your happy balls.
Oh, I'll grab them.
We'll get that later. Yeah.
But you basically use all the items that you got in the first area to craft all that he just made there. 10 or 20 heavy balls, some more Pokeballs. Oh, and also you got Scatterbangs. That's something worth noting. You actually cannot even get Scatterbangs at this point in the game. You can't make them. The only way to get them is to get them from Ginter, how it did. So
yeah, you get the recipe from defeating the boss of this area. So it's not even like, oh, because we're not going to rank 9 before the very first bridge in Obsidian. No, you literally cannot make them yet. You are not provided the recipe at this point. So it's nice because there's some things here that we can scare for points. Like Krogunk, and namely the only 2 I can think of off the top of my head are Krogunk and Sudowoodo. Although Sudowoodo's a lot less important, because it's unlikely you're going to finish that. But yeah, Golduck too, maybe. I don't know.
only Ghastly was viable.
Yeah, Ghastly's
I've tried, man. Don't worry, I've tried. I wanted to.
Ghastly's really easy. It's just like scare 3, catch 1 or something. Scare 4, catch 1 or something.
I mean,
scaring and catching is so fast. So, go ahead, Bob.
More important than anything, just like even if you don't actually end up using that many Scatterbangs in this area, like it'll save money later, like from having to buy the resources necessary to have Scatterbangs. So we're gonna need a lot of Scatterbangs for Coordinate Highlands. And so if you have any real amount of Scatterbangs, you're saving money, because money is definitely tight in that area.
Yeah. And again, you can't even get them yet, so like it's cool that you can have them at this point in the game and complete mons and get research on mons that otherwise you wouldn't be able to. without them. Because yeah, Krogunk is a good example of that, because normally how we do it now is normally we're just killing a Krogunk, because it has a task to defeat it with a... Yeah, you still can.
That's my Psyduck problem.
Yeah, true. You're probably going to have to with your Psyduck problem, but a situation you get put in is where you don't really... Your Psyduck's in a great position. You don't want to go into battle with Krogunk if you don't have to, and you can just scare a bunch of them and then just catch a couple of them, and it's just done.
Hopefully that one gets in.
That's fine. I got one. The first one got in.
All right.
That's Pikachu,
Well,
but it's not really helpful.
A little bit scary for this next fight, only having one Psyduck, but it should be okay.
the Psyduck is
die.
decent.
Could be
Actually,
Paris?
for
Okay.
safety, I can do this. I'm gonna actually leave my
good call.
my Paris.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Because I looked it up and I thought that this this Toxicroak has Mud Bomb, but it only actually has Venoshock. Or even if it has another move, it only ever uses Venoshock. So it's gonna Oko, Paris, and then I'll be able to switch very safely into my Psyduck. Because the risk that you run is you can lead Psyduck, but if you get crit, you're dead. And I don't have another Psyduck to go into afterwards, so...
And that's the scary thing that Head Bob was talking about earlier, is not having the two Psyducks for this fight. If you get put in a situation where you either get one shot, which the Venoshock can one shot you if you're a low enough level with Psyduck. I think it's Head Bob did the calc. I think it was like 5 and 16 or something to get one shot at level 17.
Yeah.
And level 18 you can get one shot. It's 2 and 16 or something, but
It's not likely, but
not likely. Just another cool thing with Toxicroak here, we can't we're not going to get any Toxicroak until way later in the game, until Coronet Highlands. But actually, using the Venoshock and defeating in here does go towards that completion later. So it's really cool that it's something you do so much earlier than you can actually catch it, that it actually matters.
Yeah, like this saves us like from to scare like 1 or 2 more extra. But yeah, you're kind of getting an idea now of what we meant by like, this game really incentivizes switching to bigger and better things as time goes on. Because none of these things were in our party in the first area, not one of them.
Yep.
And that'll be a constant trend going forward.
I don't know how your Paris is looking right now. I don't really.
Oh, it died.
I was saying, like, I don't know, like your
You mean my research?
your research situation on Paris. I'm not
Oh,
sure
you
what
missed
it's
it.
looking like.
It completely ate it.
Do what he can.
Yeah.
I'm not super concerned with Paris. If it finishes,
Yeah,
it's
Paris,
finished,
yeah.
it's great, but
We know how we
it's
feel
kinda
about Paris around here.
all my homies hate Paris. Yeah, I didn't expect to get the Pikachu. It would have been nice, but especially because we defeated him.
Cricketune. We have 2. Okay, yeah. 2 pairs.
It's a female Cricketune. You can see its really short mustache in the picture there.
So early Cricketune is like kind of really cool in that way, because like it gives you more of an opportunity. Cricketune is one of the mons we mentioned way earlier that you need 2 genders of to reliably finish it like quickly in the way we want to. And so being able to guarantee 2 genders, I mean, you're not gonna be able to guarantee it, but like giving yourself a better chance of getting 2 genders is really big for Cricketune. Or else you may be in a position where you like need to evolve a Cricketod of an opposite gender or something.
We've all been there.
Which is really slow.
Yeah. And also, those Cricketoons that you see earlier are lower levels, so they're more likely to actually get in.
Speaking of getting in, I gotta make sure I withdraw my heavy balls.
True.
Good segue.
Great segue.
What are your favorite balls in this game? That's a great
My
interview
favorite's a
question. by the way.
question.
What are your favorite balls? What are
we
your
just
favorite
met.
Pokeballs in this video game? Because there are a lot of different types, and they all have different ways of play.
Gigas and balls are objectively the best in every
I was gonna
scenario.
say, yeah, the ones that catch the Pokemon.
Even if you just miss it completely, hit it from the side, forward, backwards, like Gigas and balls are just objectively like they have the best catch rate in any usage scenario.
Uh-oh.
You have to get really close to use those though.
Okay, that's
True.
All right, I guess for somebody who's less inclined, in the skill department, it might be better.
less inclined in the skill department. That's a new one.
I would
Somebody who,
think that
has shortcomings. In the...
I would think that the fast or is it the winged balls?
Yeah, I
What
was
are
gonna say the wing ball is low key like some of the cooler. Like it's one of the coolest concepts of a ball. I feel like honestly, it's really cool.
You can do like some trick shots like across the map with it. It's pretty cool.
Just camp in the grass and just throw them. Yeah, there's your male cricketune there.
So we got Cricketune of 2 different genders, so we're chilling there. And Teddy went well, so we're good there.
Just gonna scare these. So that was literally 4 scares he got there by simply just doing nothing really, just throwing some at the ground. Throwing him at the ground.
So Krogon's like very likely to finish in this area now because of all the research we've got on it.
As long as I get like a catch or two, I think yeah. Good.
It's like a good amount of the time you're relying on seeing a Krogunk in Coronet Highlands, but like if you don't have to do that, that's really nice.
Because you're not guaranteed to see a Krogunk in the area that we go in Coronet Highlands. It's really nice to just be able to finish this right away.
Note to
here.
self, I did not get it yet.
Okay, good call.
Cool.
Oh, that might be under heavy G, dude.
Low key, yeah.
Big boy. Now, I did
All right.
say, like, you know, you can't trust height and weight or whatever, but they are correlated to some degree.
Might not smell that.
That's insane.
Hulk, I
It was
gotta
heavy.
know
That's huge.
how often during your runs of any category do you run into the shiny sound effect?
I literally had a shiny like yesterday. Or not
Did you
Yeah, it
catch
just
it, or
happens
did
all
you
the
just have to
time.
run away from it?
But, I mean, because like you have to think about it like this. Like this isn't a traditional Pokemon game where you encounter Pokemon one at a time. On any given generation of an area, you're like 100 Pokemon are spawned in, like that you run past. Even if I don't even interact with them, like they will be loaded in some capacity. Like you know, like there were some. I don't know, there were some spawns that I didn't even go for, like with Teddy Ursa, and like there were some Bidoofs that you probably didn't even see on screen, some Parises. Like any one of those could roll the chance to be shiny. So it's way more likely in this game than any other game. Especially because it has the sound effect plus the visual, unlike Scarlet and Violet, so you're way more likely to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sound effect is one of the coolest. The sound effect for the shiny is one of the coolest features, honestly, to me. It's something that's so simple, but it's so satisfying that it's just in the game.
Can we talk about the generational fumble on Hippopotas just now? Like, I think one of them got in. Like that was
Two of them ate, though.
I guess
Yeah.
that's all you really need.
Yeah. It's totally fine. So there's some
It was
Hippopotamus later.
The shiny sound effect is the saddest thing that they removed from
Matter of
Scarlet
fact,
Violet.
I
It is-
ran
I
this
agree,
for
too.
AGDQ 2022, 2023, and I actually got it. Some people in chat were saying I got a shiny, but I didn't hear it. It was like in the first area, but I believe them. People's listening skills are crazy.
Yeah, it just happens.
That or
like,
they just came up with it.
Yeah, they're trying to gaslight me, maybe.
it just happens,
I
like,
heard
probably,
the
like, once a week.
Phantom. Yeah, when I would play this, when I played this game, I heard the Phantom shiny sound say so often. Or chat would gaslight and be like, when you were off screen for like 5 seconds before a shiny, I'm like, stop, don't do this to me.
Just to give you an idea of shiny rates and all that, I did one after I did that run at AGDQ. I immediately jumped right into what I called a 100% speed run. I did every research task, every request, got every bag slot, 50 wins in the Eternal Battle Reverie, bought every outfit. I did everything, and the shiny charm was the very last thing I ever picked up in the run, and I got 36 shinies. Like,
Wow.
just not even like shiny hunting, just like, you know, just playing the game.
I've definitely had moments where I'm just running and I hear the noise. I'm like, where the heck is it? I don't know. I want to see it, but you just don't see it and you just keep running. It's so sad.
Yeah, the odds of you not seeing a shiny when playing through the game at all is just like astronomical. Like playing through the game in its entirety. Like,
Yep.
if you never see a shiny, that would be crazy in PLA.
Oh, if you're curious how that went, it took me 177 gameplay hours to do that, and 2/3 of it was spent doing research tasks because, like, a lot of them are moves, and the moves, you know, guard chomp makes you do 100 strong style moves, which is absolutely disgusting and unnecessary.
That is disgusting.
But yeah,
If there is one thing I would gripe about, it's the. I think everything about this game is awesome. I love it, but the research task where you have to just use X amount of moves is, especially like how I said, when it goes up to 100. Like, are you serious? Like, that's a little excessive.
especially because there's
Like,
no reward for perfecting everything.
You did get the second heavy Geodude as well there. So
Yeah, that was huge. I'm actually going to bring out. So the good thing there is, like, normally you'd have to make sure that you bring one of your Geodudes to like the 3rd and 4th day of Obsidian Fieldlands, or bring both of them actually. But that second Geodude is so high level, so I can actually find the first heavy Geodude. I'll go to the summary, it's worth it now.
Yep.
And I'll find that Geodude and I'll bring it. It's probably like level 7 to level 10 or something. But that other one's like in the 20s. So the other one is good to evolve on the way to Fire Spit Island.
And to give you an
It's really just
idea,
that second one, because that last Geodude, like the very last one in your PC, you'll know that one is heavy, but it's just like trying to figure out which one the other one is. Go ahead, Bob.
and to give you an idea of like how much like points like we're looking at, like I mean, so each completion is 200 points, right? So there's 100 from finishing the task, and then the bonus 100. 2 evolutions brings Geodude from like what is it, like 40 or something points to 400. So it's 360-ish worth of points.
Yeah,
in in 2 evolutions. So it's just like if you see 2 heavy Geodudes, it's just like a massive swing.
I did see you were at 70 for Psyduck, 70 for Psyduck. I think it was 70 for Paris.
I think I only have 2, so that's literally just
Yeah, you just
What?
catch one
yeah,
and
catch
feed one.
It's a cool little backup with after, like right next to the Badoos, there's 2 static Psyducks that you can just like back up. Psyduck is one of the easier mons to back up in the run, honestly. It literally spawns in every single area. It's a very easy mon to back up. And again, it's one of those mons that Hawk was talking about earlier. That like it's definitely it's one of those Pokemon that you don't want to be like what's the word
turn around for.
you don't want to be desperating for it, because you can get them in so many areas.
Never heard the word desperate used in that way. That was interesting. It was like not an adjective, but like a verb.
Think it 8.
I didn't.
I don't know.
You will eat that, right?
Yeah, you should. And this is another one of those moments where you're kind of just waiting at the top left. You're waiting to see that one fed for Psyduck, but it'll pop up now.
Yeah, there
Or
we go.
if not pop up, I saw it eat. I watched it eat. So. Oh, you suck. I mean, it's kind of my fault, though. I'm sorry.
Where are you going?
Yeah, better than AGDQ. And AGDQ, this little blue crystal here, one of them got stuck in there.
Okay.
What?
I've never seen that before or since. I think that third one might have been unspotted because my spell spray wore off at a bad time. That's okay. I can catch one unspotted in the next area.
Just so yeah,
Tangle is-
feeding. Go ahead, Bob. My bad.
Tangle's got a lot of wiggle room. Some of the ones like because we defeat one, and it's very, very, very likely to use ancient power in the fight that it's used later on in Coronet Highlands. We only actually really need to see 70 points worth of Tangela, which is pretty easy to get. It's just you catch 3 at some point, feed 2. There's plenty of options to get 70 points.
And again, Tangle is another one of those mons that you can back it up tomorrow in the next area, because there's just more there as well. So you don't really need to desperate too hard. And like something that happened there kind of with the Tangela, I guess it's relevant. How through the berry, but since the Tangela was kind of next to the tree, it kind of got caught up on the tree, because that definitely can affect. I don't really know how it works.
I forgot to catch a Psyduck. Oh well, I can catch one later.
Yeah, we're good.
I was so convinced, like caught up with feeding it. I forgot to catch it.
So many stars, you're balling.
I'm like so sad.
Yeah, I'm gonna finish Carnivine right there with the 3rd stun, and have 3 static Rhyhorns here. That Rhyhorns is also one of the fastest finishes in the game.
Yep. Especially
sure.
if you have 4 stuns to spare, it's like super, super fast.
So,
this case, it's
do you guys
just
want to talk
stun
about
three,
like
catch
the
three.
little detour I took slightly to the right? I don't know if people even saw it.
Oh yeah, good call. Yeah, so basically like Hawk said, if you weren't paying attention, you probably wouldn't even have seen it. Basically, he kind of veered off to the right towards towards the camp, I guess is what it kind of looked like.
Dude, there's like 3 females here. What the hell? Like that.
I guess technically. Okay, so basically, what that does, it doesn't matter right now, but it absolutely matters later in the run. It's not relevant in this category. I just realized that, but it does 100% matter. It will lose you a lot of time.
Thank you for the reminder that it doesn't matter.
I didn't think about it until after you did it. I was like, what are you talking about? But yeah, basically what you do is you tag that point that way. Later in the run, probably like 2 hours from now, you can, in the 80% run, I should specify, you tag it so you have the fly point for that place when you come back here later in the run when you have to go to each lake for the trio.
Yeah, so I just did something unoptimal. Please don't look at me.
And yeah, it's basically, like in this area, we're not actually going to get to the lakes where we actually are doing all that. So technically, you didn't have to touch it, but
it's a force of habit. Again,
I don't think I'd break my muscle memory either. I think I would go straight for the settlement. So
yeah, so after all Lords ends is when we'd need that for the 80% portion.
Correct. And Lord number 2 right here, Lilligant.
This was a wild boss.
You think you could like?
I think I caught 3 female combies. I only saw 1 male.
So I wonder if you could, even without the tree leap out, you can maybe finish it with an Evo or something. Multiple Evos.
I don't know if I caught the male though. I'm sure like a gust and an Evo is fine. If I get 6.
Yeah, and I don't think we talked about it on the first time that Hulk fought Cleavor, but you see this right here. It looks like he's just kind of throwing dirt up in the air, but really that the Lilligant got to a certain point in its health where it kind of isn't. It is invincible for like a couple seconds. So basically, he throws the bombs straight up in the air, and by the time that they come down and they hit the Lilligant, the invincibility will be off, and then it does more damage. I'm really bad at explaining it, but yeah, that's basically
so it's invulnerable while it's while it's doing that little angry shout. So it takes like 2 seconds to throw every bomb anyway. So during that like 5 seconds of not being able to do anything, you might as well get hitboxes out. Because you can throw 2 bombs in that time, 2.5 bombs. Mm-hmm. So you might as well get those hitboxes out and active so that whenever it's done shouting, they just land on it 1-2. So it kind of give you a little bit of an edge on the fight. Because there's no point in sitting there just continuing to throw at it or do nothing, just because it won't take any damage and that's just a waste of time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What are you gonna bring right here? I guess just Starly.
G-Dude. First G-Dude.
Oh, true. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Paris. I'm actually gonna evolve mine just to make sure I'm done. I was trying to pull up the stream, but
you had 70 before this area. I know that.
Paris?
You definitely have 4 Paris. I don't know if any of them are large.
No, I think I need to evolve.
You didn't have a large after Arizona, at least. But that 70 was not a large.
I only caught 1 today, I think. I didn't see any heavy text pop up.
Sorry, large doesn't even matter. Yeah, if you definitely caught 4. So yeah, you just need to evolve.
Yeah. Yep. So just make sure we're good. I'm just gonna go ahead and evolve the Paris, just to be safe.
Yep. And this is usually just something you do at the very end if you. It's just like it's basically the last thing you'll do at the end of the road, the finish Paris if you have to.
Yeah, like I'm about to put Paris away, and I'm never gonna have one in my party ever again. So you might as well.
Yep. And again, Paris is one of those mines that it's just kind of random.
Everyone in chat, we have to give that Paris a name. This is the only time we're gonna see Paris during the run. Press F in the chat.
I vote for Parasect as the name.
That's lame.
That's my boy right there. That's my girl.
52 pounds.
Yeah, I think 50 pounds is the threshold for heavy. So I know that one that I have in my party right now and the last one I caught are the heavy ones. Because I didn't see the initial pop-up. So, I didn't get to, process that information. So I had to do that little check in the summary right there. But the one that we got on the first visit to my islands, I absolutely saw. So
I like that one. Naming Paris France is
did
funny.
the stream go down? Oh, or
no, it was for the F. We're paying our respects to Paris.
Oh,
yeah.
I see. I was like, what happened?
Well, actually, we're paying our respects to France. We've decided. I've chosen France. Thank you, Dynamation.
Look, I'm never gonna see it again. You can have it. Man, do whatever you want with it.
Why don't you like France, Hal? What are we doing here?
Where do you want me to start?
Oh my gosh, you're right. You did catch 3 female combies. No males.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, it was like I was like, what, female. Like it's 1 in 8 or something. Like it's crazy.
It was an 80 on Tangela. You got.
So I can catch 1 unspotted here.
Yep.
So that means what probably happened is I think the first one didn't eat. So, but catching a fourth one unspotted will back that up. I mean, if it's 80, I had to have either fed 3 or caught 3. Well, not necessarily. I can just catch 2 unspotted to make sure I'm good. Because if I caught only the first 2 unspotted, then catching the third and fourth one will get me to catch 4 Tangle unspotted. Because Tangle doesn't have a task for catching 3 unspotted.
Yeah,
So it's a little weird.
Yeah, like some Pokemon will have a weird jump in like threshold to get to the next task. Like some go from 1, 2 to like 6, and some go to like 1, 2, 4. So it's just kind of weird with each mon to mon. It's very different.
I was trying to come up with
I have to use a different browser every time I want to check the research, because like Twitch's video player is so bugged, like it'll just keep saying like the VOD link is the same link that it was like 20 minutes ago, when that's not true. So I have to like use a different browser every time so that's actually caught up.
I was gonna mention that Paris has effect spore, but in reality, not in this game. So
True.
Paris really is not that good.
There are
in this
only
game.
2 Pokemon with abilities in this game.
Really?
Yes, they are Cherim and Regigigas.
How come
They couldn't let Regigigas have one thing. Because he's like, oh my god, we're getting a game with no abilities? Hell yeah, man. And they're like, well, what about that, dude? What about that? You're still gonna have slow start. And yeah, sad Regigigas noises.
And is Cherim just because of the sun?
Yes, when you encounter it and during sunlight, it'll transform. Flower gift, I think it's called.
Yeah, the third tank blood didn't eat. Yeah, you have 80.
Oh wait, so what I missed was a feed?
Correct. You have 3 unspotted.
Okay. That's good then. Okay, so I only need to catch 1 unspotted. Yeah, I knew it. It didn't look like the first one ate, but I also knew that my stealth spray wore off at a weird time, so I wasn't sure. I also need to catch a side hug.
It's actually gonna be the first time that we actually take the detour to go to the crafting shop to actually make items for the first time, or buy items to make.
This might seem like another waste of time, but like it's worth it to not have to get on and off Weird so much, or like not to have it matter. Like, because technically it's RNG what you collect from ores, like especially at this point in the game, because it's like, you know, the tumblestones and iron chunks and evo stones have like weightings for how often they drop from the ores, like when it picks the 5 items to drop. There it goes, good enough.
Yeah, we would have to farm a lot of items if we didn't want to have to buy anything.
Yeah, I just had to buy like 30 iron chunks, so
Yeah, I'm not very easy to get that much.
they're not lying around everywhere.
Yeah.
You still do have the 3 Stardust. I forgot about that, but you can do it later if you need.
I just want to make sure I ranked up. This
Yeah.
one Pokeball in a dream.
So true. Yeah, but yeah, we
So-
just got to this point in the game, and this is the only this point in the game is when we actually can start making great balls. When you hit rank 3, I believe.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you get the recipe from ranking up there. So Jiggy, as an observer, do you have any questions, or is there anything that's going over your head? Because it's very easy for us to get jaded on what's really easy to know and what's not.
Or Twitch chat.
I mean, what I think's like really unique about this game is like, unlike some of the other Pokemon speedruns I've seen, where it kind of relies a lot on like, I mean, look at Gen 4 where you have to try to keep that RNG manip for as long as you can. There's different things you can do to keep, you know, you have to have the best Pokemon, you know, type or not type, nature. This game really feels like it is kind of, for lack of a better way of putting it, skill based. This one's not just brain based. It like, you need brain, but this game, it is like a lot of running around catching Pokemon and like building up those, making sure you're paying attention to every research task, right?
I think that the way to describe it is that this game requires a lot of dynamic skill, because like there is skill in like remembering the manipulation and like performing it well and keeping the manipulation up with like certain movement patterns.
Oh yeah,
especially
absolutely.
with like the bike in certain games. But like this does require me to like have dynamic skill. Like if like because the Pokemon aren't going to spawn exactly the same way every time. I have to react to how they spawned in and handle it accordingly. But you mentioned about battling. I think you kind of like went on there for a little bit. I think the bad battle system in this game, admittedly, is a really big plus to the speedrun, because the battle system, they changed it to where, normally in older games, if you defeat a Pokemon, the next Pokemon comes out, it's a complete reset. Like the faster Pokemon will go first next time, which is why older Pokemon games are able to just use one Pokemon the whole time. But this game, it kind of works on like a tabletop initiative system, to where like the Pokemon that comes in inherits the initiative of the Pokemon that died. So it's always going to be they kill you, you kill them, they kill you, you kill them. And it makes it a lot more interesting because we have to, at the end of the game, we're going to have to run a full party.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we won't get there, but like, for a lot of this game, the battles are going to require a full party.
Soloing a fight.
At the end of this area, actually, you have a full party. So.
Does any percent go all the way? Like, does any percent go all the way to Cynthia's granddad?
No, it just goes to the credits.
Oh no, okay. Oh,
yeah,
okay, all right.
just beating Dialga or Palkia in the noble battle.
Yeah, so it's like an extra 50 minutes or an hour?
Yeah, it isn't too bad.
Because I was gonna say Cynthia's granddad is by far one of the.
Oh
toughest
no!
battles
Hold
in the
on. No, we
entire
beat that with
franchise.
one Pokemon.
You beat Cynthia? Really?
Yes, in Catch 'em All, we beat it with one Pokemon.
Yeah, but in general, it's very difficult to beat like a late game fight.
That
with
involves
one
item
Pokemon.
abuse, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't beat it with one Pokemon.
Go look at the Catch 'em All speedrun and scroll to that point, and you'll see what I mean.
It's really like the action speed
Giratina phase 5 really messed me up.
Oh, we use a different Pokemon for that, but still one Pokemon. We bring two Pokemon to that fight, basically. Oh my God, I had my foot on my foot pedal for Catch 'em All reasons.
That fight single-handedly made me like Basculin as a Pokemon.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
It's not that big of a deal.
I don't think it's on me, actually.
I mean, you have 80.
Because I'm a notorious Gen 5 hater, and so I've always hated Basculin. I just thought Basculin it's worse Magikarp. It doesn't evolve. It's Basculin.
That's large.
This game saved Basculin for me.
It gave Basculin a purpose for sure.
But Basculin's like actually good in this game too.
Yeah, Wave Crash is a pretty good move.
That's true. All right, so this might look kind of weird, but just trust me, I know what I'm doing. I'm a professional.
Just gonna climb this mountain in the intended way.
No big deal.
I'm sure everyone did this, actually.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, the other way was not quite as interesting.
I guess it is worth noting, you technically can go the other way. I know, like, for my runs, I started going the other way just so I had better chances of finishing Motham. I think Headbot is the same, but...
It makes Machop a lot faster, doing it the way the Halkers did it.
Correct.
Means you only have to evolve one instead of two.
Do you end up running any alphas in this run? Like at all?
Not in this
Sometimes,
category.
but not usually. And yeah, never in this category.
No, but the fight that I mentioned where we actually win against Volo with one Pokemon, it is an Alpha Gallade from Snowpoint Temple. Because being able to deal damage and heal in the same turn is broken. Because it learns Drain Punch from the move tutor.
Yeah.
There are some scenarios in the any percent category where you have an incentive to catch the Alpha Sneasel and Alabaster Icelands.
Oh yeah, right.
If you either don't get like Haunter or like not enough Sneasel that are I don't know, whatever. But
I mean, I could do that here because technically we're just going to Avalugg, so I could do that here.
For fun.
You laugh, but I might. I mean, when I did this for AGDQ, because it was also all lords, I caught the alpha swinub and used that. That was the most interesting way I can make it.
Yeah, I saw the alpha
That's a-
Glalie shiny or something one time.
I feel like that's a good donation incentive too. It's just like, all right, if you all donate 10 grand, I'll catch Swinub.
And I will destroy a triple battle with an Electivire, Rhyperior, and a Magmortar with it.
Wow, that is so base. And
It learned
not know that
Blizzard,
you did
which
that.
is kind of insane.
Yeah,
Okay,
wow.
this is
I
actually
didn't-
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna make a joke about how awesome Swinub is, and that we should all love Swinub and Swinub hype in the chat.
I need more of that. So this is the hardest 2 minutes of the speedrun.
Correct.
Yeah.
I guess I can explain how Hulk is executing it. Basically, what he did is he set. So it's a cool thing in this game that you can just sleep real quick to advance time through any point in the day that you want. So what he did is he set nighttime or set evening. That way it'll roll into the nighttime. So basically, when you're in this point in the game, you set it to evening. You're basically on an auto scroller for the next 2 minutes until it rolls over into nighttime. So basically, everything you do in between this 2 minutes is not even really time loss. It's because you have to wait anyways for it to roll over, because in order to complete the story and advance in the story in this game, you have to actually catch a Dusclops to give it to somebody. The only way to do that, obviously, is if it's nighttime. So you set evening, that way you can do all these mons, and then by the time you get to the area where the Dusclops is, it'll basically just roll over, essentially like right away. But yeah, Hulk still needs to catch this Staravia, so it's going to be the 1 Staravia we need. Gonna craft a little bit of Scatterbangs.
Imagine the second small to finish here.
Oh, was the first one small? I didn't even see.
Yeah.
Oh, Psyduck. Hi.
Oh, true, that is clutch. I did not remember.
I didn't get gold deck, but hopefully I get Psyduck.
Yes, like so.
I might have rioted. I would have ridden an angry Rare.
Nice
Angry
1%
Letter.
Staravia or
I forgot
Staraptor.
about
Staraptor.
I'm so dumb. It's level 37. No, but it's level 37 and it's Brave Bird, which is kind of nice.
So yeah, chat out is usually the one that's on the ropes with this evening cycle. If you are too late, then that's the one that usually gets lost. But it seems like if we just catch one here, then we'll be good to finish it.
Chat's done.
So if we have chat out, we're good.
Did Staravia get in? I don't know if it did.
Good question. I don't know. I'm not super worried about it.
Yeah, that's fair. You're finishing Geodude and Graveler, so I mean that's 2 mons that normally you wouldn't be.
Oh yeah, like
That's
so
another
I'm
cool-
like yeah, I'm really good.
Yeah.
So that's another cool thing too, is whenever you do get put in a situation where, because normally you won't do Geodude and normally you won't do Graveler, but since you are, you kind of don't have to worry about other mons as much, because you're just essentially getting 2 mons that you wouldn't have done otherwise. You can kind of that's a very unlikely breakout, by the way, with the Backstrike Great Ball Mushroom Cake.
Like 85% or something.
Yeah, it's definitely like a 85%
Yeah.
catch at least. Like I said, you need Dusclops to advance the story, so you cannot leave this area until you have a Dusclops acquired.
There are not many things you can say that is the case for.
I use the Pokeball throw to get him out of the ground. Whenever you feel like it, man.
With a stun lock. Very cool trick in this
Yeah,
game.
this is the first unlock we've been able to actually show off. Not in circumstances I would have liked to show it off. But... All right, buddy. I'm gonna stun him. I have plenty of those.
That's fair.
He's got to stay in
Oh,
that.
he didn't like that idea.
You just had to intimidate him. You had to use your words,
So basically what a cell knock is when a mon breaks out of the Pokeball, there's like a really, I don't know the exact window, but there's a very small window where actually you can catch it before it like aggro's on you, and then you can no longer throw a Pokeball at it because it just won't let you catch it anymore. Yeah, it's really cool tech, and it's actually pretty difficult to do that.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's actually pretty difficult to do that consistently as well. Like I know I still I think I'm a pretty good player of this game now, and I still struggle with that
So
very
bad.
much. So
Like that evening segment was so good, except for the dust pops.
I gotta call you out here, Hulk. I gotta call you out. You just did your societal duty. You saved a satchel. Chat, can we get some love in the chat for Hulk for saving that person's satchel?
Nobody tell Jiggy I'm offline and it's an NPC satchel.
No!
I'm sorry. I don't want to break the illusion, but
No, it's
sorry.
okay. That NPC, you know, it'll make their day.
Damn.
Ava,
Yeah, this
Ava
is
will love
canon
it.
actually. Yes, he does need a Dusclops to. Well, you need a Dusclops to make the Basque Legion food, and then you go on to get a Basque Legion. Basically, this is a way to advance the story, but he basically
'cause,
tells
like-
you, "Oh, go over here. There's a Dusclops over there. You can catch it at nighttime." But we already did that, so you know.
It also saves time because if it's not nighttime, he will ask you if you want to sleep here until nighttime. So by it already being nighttime, it actually cancels out some of the time that we spent sleeping. Yeah, because like only Dusclops can make food spooky enough for Basque Legion. By the way, we're coming up on that really long cutscene I mentioned. Like right after this, I'm gonna warp, change my party. And
Still need to
then
evolve
we're
your
gonna
Machops, by the way.
I'm actually not doing that. I'm just gonna do Machop
Oh,
because I'm doing Geodude and Graveler as well.
Yeah,
I'm actually doing
100%.
Dust Talks because I caught like 3 of them. I know I got Psyduck. Psyduck's good.
And it's just a cool thing too. Like the fact that he can do Geodude and Graveler kind of opens up a lot of doors to skipping other mons and skipping other things and evolutions. Because evolutions probably are like the slower bit of finishing a mon that we do, or some of the mons that we do. Not saying it's bad to evolve, but it's not the fastest to do so in situations, especially when in this situation he doesn't even have to because he's making up the Machoke finish with the Geodude finish, and then he's making up I think the Staravia finish with
The Graveler finish.
the Graveler finish. So
Yeah.
they just kind of even each other out. So it's really cool that you get that opportunity to do that.
But I did just realize that like I don't really have anything to fight Abomasnow with, so I think I'm gonna bring Moth in.
Yeah, Motham seriously benefits from. Oh well, can it win by itself? I don't know.
I don't know, but if it doesn't win, okay, I did get Staravia. Actually, no, I'm bringing that. Actually, sounds like a much better idea. Chatot. I need Dust Talks. I need the other Geodude.
Is that the right
I
one?
guess I'll bring.
Oh, what's it?
Yeah, yeah.
That was the last
yeah.
one, yeah. Maybe. Because, like I said, because we didn't get the heavy B-Doofs earlier, we're kind of, I think I'm fine with Drain Kicks. I think Shello sucks those.
Yep.
And Yen Mega likes those, definitely. Because Yen Mega likes everything but Salt, I'm pretty sure.
It's nice to save some cakes later in the run for Yin Mega.
It's also nice to save some bag space, got like every kind of cake there. Anyways, I think we're going to take a break, aren't we, Jakey?
Yeah. We will be right back, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to finish the rest of this awesome All Lords run. But before you go anywhere, I just want to say, hey, thank you so much for all the subs and the bits that we had during this run so far. Your subs, your Prime Gaming subs, your gift subs, your cheers, all that stuff goes to supporting the GDQ channel and helping run Hotfix. So if you like all of the speedruns that you see here throughout the week, as well as the specials we do on the weekend, definitely consider subscribing, using that Prime Gaming sub and helping us out. And yeah, with that, we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. We will be back in just a minute. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are going to continue through this amazing Legends Arceus run. Hulk, you ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, we just got Basket Legion, and they stole one of our puppies, but don't worry about it. So there's a couple things we have to do here. First of all, we did catch those dust toxes, and that's nice, but dust tox is not done off battle wounds. You need to use a strong poison powder, and it's actually convenient use it right now because the only thing we lose right now while we're in a battle is the ability to hold B and go faster with Basket Legion, but the default swimming speed is actually not that slow. So it actually is like similar to our situation in Fieldlands, where like we were on foot and it was just, you know, efficient to keep out of stuff anyway.
Yeah, so we pretty much always have death pucks here, but also like if there's any other things that we like could finish potentially with an extra move, it's better to do them on the water because it's like the least amount of time loss compared to having to get up weird ear and same kind of thing as before. Alright, so now we got Shellos. Shellos is very important because
This is the first member of our final party.
that's right. Gastrodon is very good for the late game. Even in the portion of the run that we do in the All Lords run, it still is helpful, but it's a lot more important for the any percent run as well. But yeah, Shellos is good. It's not too bad of a catch. And then we have Tentacle here. Tentacles can be super fast. It can also be super trolly potentially. Yeah, it relies on unspotted catches, which unspotted catches can be like super fast. Same kind of thing as Mischievous. But if they aggro on you, you can potentially lose a lot of time trying to finish it if you actually need it. Otherwise you may just have to scrap it.
That's my last ball. I almost missed.
And then Finneon is often a case that you pretty much always catch it in your runs, but you often never finish it because you get a lot of points for just catching like one or two, but to actually finish it is a little bit trickier. You have to catch 4 of them, and oftentimes there isn't 4 spawns that like are easy to catch. Sometimes they control you by going underwater, so you want to try and catch like 1 or 2 just to get 40 or 80 points respectively. Yeah. And you're seeing how evolve this stuff here. Gastrodon's going to be used in the fight coming up in the volcano, alongside some of the other mons we brought with us before we entered the cutscene.
Yeah, so the barrel, the beaters need to be evolved to kind of back up for the issues in Fieldlands. Like I just didn't see 12, which is unfortunate. Or I didn't catch 12 rather. I probably saw 12.
Did you end up getting the heavy?
I did get 1 in, but that's not.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't see it in my research, but I did see it in my I saw it on screen as it happened.
That makes sense.
I remember where I was when I saw it. Oh, I gotta write down that I need to back up. I don't remember what extent I did that. I believe I just got 2 feeds and 1 catch on spot.
Yes, I think that's right. So you just need to catch 2 more, 1 unspotted. Yeah.
I mean, but even without that, like, I feel like it's so good. That's the great thing about this game. You just go into a fight and be like, that's probably this. And it doesn't. Is this ice shard or ice crash? Get him, dude.
Yeah.
I kind of thought it would still have rollout, but
Rollout is research for you, dude, if we had it.
yeah. But this one's too high of a level attached. So
This one's too cool for that, I guess.
I'm wondering if it would have been better to use aerial ace. Even though I think it's technically less power. I think the bomb is going to have the
Yeah, typically this is where you would, if Hulk was doing Machoke, you would bring Machoke and use Strong Bullet Punch there to chip it, and then you finish it with Chatot. Strong Bullet Punch is enough to finish Machoke with 1 Evo's worth. But instead, we can, in theory, take better measures. If we had seen a Vulpix, we probably would have brought that instead.
Oh yeah, but I just didn't. Yeah, like you said, I just didn't see that. Yeah, if I had seen a natural Machoke in my case, because I didn't need to evolve in Machop at all, or if I had seen a Vulpix, I would have brought that. But unlucky. That's okay. I'm not sure how Togepi is. I know I caught 2 of them, and I know I fed one. You said the first one was small. I don't
think the second one was small, unfortunately. But
that's fine.
So yeah, probably not going to be finished there, but still some good points for sure.
Got 2 small ones. No, I'm actually done. I saw Draining Force.
Oh.
Yeah, Togepi's finished. If I got 1 small. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I always forget about that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like everything the enemies do helps you as well.
Yep.
Oh, so we actually use Strong Mud Bomb there because it forces Gengar to use his only move that can't miss, which is Dark Pulse, because every move that ends with the word pulse is but yeah, normally if you don't do that, he does like Hypnosis, Venom Shock, and it sucks.
Yeah, Hypnosis Hex can be like really, really scary for some mons potentially. It does a lot of damage.
So unless I got 2 light specimens, I did not finish Tentacool. That's okay. I didn't really intend to. I view Tentacool a lot like Finneon, where like just getting a couple catches is fine.
Yep.
Because I didn't really have room for Luxio in my party. So
oh yeah, yeah.
Is great. It's at least a game.
Yeah, if you commit to not bringing Luxio, because part of finishing Tentacool stably is defeating it with an electric type move. You don't really expect to finish it, so just catching 2 is worth 80 points, which is pretty nice.
And catching 3 gives you a non-zero chance of just getting 2 lights and finishing it.
That's right.
Hacks, which is what I did.
And that is the best. That is the best case scenario.
Yeah. Oh, actually, technically, I did not do that in the world record because the world record for All Lords, for the first time in a long time, did not come from the 80% world record. It came from a run that Dialga at the very end just lost me a lot of time. But hey, I still got something out of it. Yeah, I already have 1 stun on Golduck.
Yep. And you don't have Yanma either.
So, while it's relevant, a lot of people look at this game, they're like, ugh, there's so much cutscenes. But if you've played this game, if you've run this game, you're so grateful for these cutscenes because it gives you a lot of time to do what we're doing now and strategize. Because, no 2 runs are ever the same, and no 2 runs are very rarely situated the same way. In terms of points, in terms of like progression, time, like every run's got different materials, for example, like stun items. So it's nice to have these cutscenes as like a brief pause in the action to kind of plan your next moves out.
These are also like the best time to talk to chat and to remind them that they can join the official GDQ Discord and add the hotfix role so they can keep tab on all of our upcoming events. !Discord.
That was a fantastic segue. I give it an 8.
We were just going to say that, actually. We were just going to say that ourselves.
You were just about to mention joining the GDQ Discord while you're about to fight this Arcanine.
That's right. That's right.
So it's probably like the hardest casual fight. Even speedrunning, like I died here in my first couple speedruns until we learned you can just kind of manipulate him.
Yeah.
You explain how it works?
Yeah, so basically you just want to... The general idea is you want to be in the middle as much as possible so that it keeps jumping into the middle, so that you can get as many hits off as possible. And then after that, you go to one of the sides, and then it dashes to one of the sides like it is here. And by getting through this part fast enough, you avoid the portion of the fight where he like dashes to the opposite side of the field and then like has a bunch of balls that like charge up and like do like some massive attack. You skip all of that. So Yeah, they'll just be done very early here.
Nice. Arcane's probably the easier one, you have to imagine, right?
Once you know the strat, yeah, but like I said, like if you don't know,
I think it's
very easy.
the harder half, probably.
It's so free once you know the strat. I can teach my little brother how to do it.
I think casually though, this might Arcanine I think was the hardest.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
I think so.
I remember watching Headbot play at day one and just seeing him die a lot to it. I don't know why I remember that so.
What is that? What's
I just remember that day one. I just remember you dying to Arcanine, man. I don't know.
what am I catching strays for? What is this?
Couldn't be me. I wasn't on Arcanine on day one. I was way further back.
It's okay, Hulk. I also died day 1 to Arcanine.
But
It's like we're the same skill level or something.
I didn't. Anyways. Wrong H name.
How was your gastrodon, by the way? I didn't get to see because
I got a 34.
Nice.
Everything looks good. I gotta make sure I have all this G-Dude before we leave, though. And that will finish G-Dude and Graveler, as we mentioned before, since the 2 G-Dudes I evolved are heavy G-Dudes, and a heavy G-Dude will always become a heavy Graveler. And 2 catches on Graveler, 2 evolutions, because it counts an evolution to and from Graveler. And
The 2 heavies.
the 2 heavies, that's, the catches and the evolutions are both 20 points each. So 20, 40, 60, 80, and then 2 10-point tasks from the heavies give us a 100. So yeah.
And yeah, also on the point about the whole cutscene thing, I think definitely like the first, because I ran this game like back when it was released, and so like all the runs were like super longer back then. I think because we weren't strategizing nearly as much as we are now, like there's just like not a lot of like planning out in advance. You definitely it felt a bit longer. I remember. So when I came back to this game, I remember like not looking forward to the whole bunch of cutscenes or whatever. But then, as Hulk said, once you like kind of get the feel for it, like having that time to plan out what you're gonna do in the next area is like so important. I don't know what we would do without it, honestly.
Literally.
So for the first time in a while, we're going to carry 1 Pokemon between 2 areas. Because like I said, this Gastrodon is the first member of our final party.
And it also works out that you saw that we died to the first fight coming into this area. We're going to do the same thing. 40 Pokemon, oh my goodness. We're going to do the same thing for a fight after this section. In Gastrodon actually
Oh my god,
well.
I got the scam finish on Tentacle.
That's
No.
crazy.
I sure did.
What?
That might be something I start doing too. I don't know. That scam finish is
Actually,
crazy.
I don't
That
wanna
might be
say
the
it's
best finish in the game.
phase, but maybe
Yeah.
not after the Dusclops, but we'll see.
And we got the Togepi too. Amazing.
Wait, Togepi finished too?
7k points right now, which is
Yes.
without
Being
even
over
hitting the top
7,000, it's my bad. But yeah, being over 7,000 at this point is like really crazy. It's just like Bob was saying earlier. It's just, and Alec was also saying earlier, like stacking your points, like it just makes you not have to do basically like nothing. He's probably gonna have to complete like 5 things to finish, which is really nice.
Start to finish 5 things, including Yanma and Stunting. Yeah. Yanma will be truly start to finish because I did not catch one in Crimson Rounds.
Compared to, if you had lower amount of points, you would probably have to do like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 different entries to get to where he needs to be.
Yeah,
And
again,
like,
this is those 2 schools of thought. Like because of the way I played, I've earned this privilege to not have to do much in this big area. Whereas somebody that wants to do a lot less, that's their prerogative, but I like to play this way. And you can do whatever you want. That's the great thing about this game.
Yeah, like that's something really cool about the game. Like, yeah, like I'm pretty sure like Hulk leaving this area in his PB or world record had like over 7,000, but Kitamura, who is second place, barely hit the threshold to get out of the area. So it's like crazy, just like the differences in routing in this game. It's very unique. You don't really see anything like it.
Yeah, but ultimately, we converge at the end because anything
Yep.
that he skips, he has to back up later.
Exactly.
Similarly for me, except I front load my points, so I get advantages later on, not having to deal with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. And Coronet Highlands just offers a lot of different Pokemon that you can finish very quickly. So it is, if you are to go in this area with a low amount of points, it is.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna present something crazy. I've always talked about this as a possibility, but there's a chance after I climb up to Gligar, I do not fall back down. Because why bother? I don't need Skuntank.
That's crazy.
Because the only thing you need Skuntank for is any percent. You do not use it at all in Alabaster Ice.
I guess it just depends what you need to finish.
Yeah.
If you have to go down for Hippo or Toxicroak to finish all the way.
If I need to.
I'd imagine with the Yanmega, Golduck, Gligar, Voltorb, Mischievous, that might just finish for you.
Yeah, Yanmega, Golduck, Gligar.
But maybe not, because you're not getting the skunk like that initial amount of points that you that 550 or 540.
Yeah, without that, I'm assuming I finished Croagunk earlier. Actually, was paying attention.
Yes. I think Hippopotas was the only one you did not finish. That day.
So without Hippopotas, Toxicroak, Skuntank, I have 37 finishes.
Should be enough.
Especially with all the partial points I have, like.
True, yeah. 80 on Wurmple.
You still have the Stardust. Oh, you have 40 caught. Yeah, that's not why you need it. 3 Stardust just sitting in the bank. Could never be me.
Nice.
Way too many. Scatterings.
Yeah, considering we're not.
Pretty balanced.
11 mud balls. Okay.
So
Yeah, mud balls are crazy.
Put up a fight.
Sure.
With 11.
Haunter doesn't stand a chance.
I don't know if we talked about it, but the difference between spoiled and mud, we might have talked about that. I don't know if we did.
No, I don't think we did.
Yeah. Essentially, they're both sun items, but mud is a little bit stronger. You can go ahead, Bob. You probably explain it a little bit better.
I got T-padded, dude.
What?
Oh, they're talking about my PB too. But yeah, so different stun items have different levels of efficacy. And so, for example, like Golduck in the next area, Golduck gets stunned with 2 spoiled apricorns. Well, this is a bad example, actually. I should have chosen literally anything else. Skuntank, I guess, for example, something that we're going to skip. That would get stunned with 3 spoiled apricorns. But if you used 1 ball of mud and 1 spoiled apricorn, it would also be stunned. So mud balls are a little bit more powerful than spoiled. So it depends on your counts either way. Hulk's in a very weird position where he has way more mud balls than he does spoils. So that kind of throws everything out of whack.
There is a story behind getting T-padded. So a young man by the name of Thomas Patrick WX starts to run this game, right? And up until that point, all we'd ever seen from Leafeon was Leaf Blade. And all of a sudden, we're watching T-Pat stream, and this thing does Calm Mind. And that's brand new. He unlocked the time loss. Because later that week, me and Shady Gamer X, one of the other top players, got the Calm Mind later that week, after months of having never seen it. So T-Pat literally unlocked the time loss for the rest of us.
You T-Pat.
Thank you, T-Pat.
T-Pat also ran this game.
Yep, he's a very good runner in this game.
He just had to forecast it.
Oh.
Come on, that was funny. That was really funny. Come on, that was really funny. Did you know that T-Pat's a weatherman?
That's my favorite weatherman.
That's right.
It's funny because like T-Pat's now learning Catch 'em All, and weather plays a massive part in Catch 'em All. I'm like, perfect, you're gonna be great at this.
Has he figured out the code to not getting fog ever?
Oh no. He's getting worse weather luck than I've ever seen. I'm like, dude, you literally control this when you do.
I know this is kind of slipping my mind, but why do we set evening again here? This is literally just slipping my mind.
Most of the good things to do here are at night, like Mischievous.
Yeah.
Well, for Yanma, it's like almost more important than everything else.
Oh yeah,
right?
because Yanma, it's double points for Yanma. So
Yeah.
Oh, you only caught 2 Yanmas, by the way.
You have to catch 3.
Yeah, I'll catch one down there.
Yeah, Yanma has some catch unspotted task and also catch at evening time. And fun fact, the Yanmegas with the cake backstrike lead and ball is a 95% to get in.
Yeah, normally it's like 65, so it's a massive jump.
Yeah, it just shows how powerful the mushroom case can be. Taking it from 65% to literally 95%, basically guaranteed to get in the ball. is pretty epic.
Yeah, for something that all I had to do was just talk to a guy and press the A button. You know, it's really, really good.
Wait, so yeah, is evening literally just Yanma plus Mr. Vismonter? Is that it?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't think there's anything else that's specific. Oh, Gligar. I think
That makes sense, yeah.
At night. I may be wrong with that, actually.
No, I think it's just unspotted, or the Cot and
No.
Cot unspotted opposite
No,
gender.
not Gligar.
But still, like, yeah. I don't know why I never thought about that till just now. I've done a lot of runs of this game and I never thought about that. But
Yeah, I mean, in Catch 'em All, you don't have to change the time, so.
makes sense. And it's cool right away also, another cool little thing. We catch Yanma and Yanmega right away, and those are actually mons that kind of we use in every battle, and they're actually good in every battle in this area, so. Very cool that we can get them right away into our party to help us with some of these battles.
Yeah, it's like kind of the only way that you don't need to set up the mountain camp, because like honestly, like we have exactly what we need to do the things that we need, and like with the amount of battles that there are in Coordinate Highlands and the way they're spaced out, it can be kind of difficult to have enough healing items to do all the fights without needing to like take a healer or whatever. So the fact that we have like an excess of, we have multiple Yanmegas, we have some Yanmas, which are all really good for the fights that are in this area, and so it just works out perfectly that we can just use those, not to worry about anything else.
Absolutely. I don't know if we talked about that little tech right there. Like how it actually stopped moving in that cutscene before Ingo reached his final destination. Basically, for the same reason that we crouch cancel is the same reason that he stops in that area, because the cutscene won't load until your character is fully stopped. So
Yeah.
and by stopping in that area right away, it allows you to literally, as soon as Ingo hits that spot, you're standing still, so it just enters the cutscene right away. So
Yeah,
it's really
I also
cool.
did it. Oh, actually, I didn't. So I was gonna say I did it at the beginning of the game when I was walking with the professor, but you didn't see that. Even when the game goes to black, sometimes it's waiting for your character to go to neutral, and you'll have no idea.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes I've done that where I would be in a situation where I would like for some reason be moving my left stick and I would enter a cutscene. Did any of them get scared by that?
It's sleeping. It's sleeping.
I don't care.
Wake up!
That's not how this works.
Sleeping Pokemon can't be
buddy.
scared. There's a thing.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I learned this the hard way with Toxic Rogue one time.
I was about to talk like some professional about like not turning around, but you bet I would have turned around if that had freaking out. There's no chance. It's the final area. This is crunch time, and it was very important to help Gastron to level 37 to make this fight 11. Usually, I thought sleep Pokemon like wake up and then get scared,
Well, yeah, it wakes it up, but then if you throw another one,
but
then
it
gets
didn't
scared.
wake that guy up. That was the weird part.
Yeah, he was just sitting on his butt.
He was
nothing at all.
chilling. He didn't. Nothing was gonna wake that dude up.
Yeah, in this fight, this is one of the fights that matters what level Shellos you catch earlier. Because it'd be level 35, 36, or 37 at this point. And 37, the range is I don't know if it's very good, but I don't really know the exact, but
It's like
I don't think it's ever
like
good.
12 and 16.
yeah.
It was better than it looked.
Yeah, but there's also a strat that you can do at level 35 and 36 that allows you to just basically never die to this fight, which is
Even 37, if you really want to. Essentially, the position that Gastron is in the queue, it will always go after Skuntank. I don't think it's possible to have a slow enough Gastron that this won't work. But essentially, use like an Agile Water Pulse. That'll give you 2 turns in a row. Agile Water Pulse basically closes the gap from the damage that Earth Power would be missing to close out the kill. Plus, like, you get to attack twice right away. So in my case, it would have been better, but I was just trying to go for the one-shot kill. So But you can't know
because that Skuntank does always use Night Slash, which is a high crit rate move, which is 1 in 8 to crit you on any turn. On both times it uses it, so either time it has a 1 in 8 chance, and if it does it one of those 2 times, it will you will die. So
Yeah, but
and
it is the
Skuntank does
second
have a
time
task to
around,
finish it with and it does have a task to kill it with or defeat it with a ground type move.
Who cares?
Yeah, true.
I'm not catching
Which
one.
That's right. That's right.
I'm gonna try
But
not to anyway. If things
yeah,
go bad,
exactly.
I might pivot and do it, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. This is always something I've always talked about. I'm actually in a position where I can actually do it. So,
I mean, you get to see Mischievous.
you know, the first
Exciting.
time. Satchel! Sorry, what were we saying?
It just,
That's the
you know,
name?
it ruins my dreams that those aren't real. You know, I always
you'll know
picture
when they're
just
real.
some.
I'll log on and I'll get XX underscore, you know, Killa underscore XX. I don't even know who I'm leading. I'm gonna say no to actually make sure I'm leading the right one.
You're leading Gastrodon, I'm pretty sure.
That's probably not what I want to do.
Like those could be real. You could be saving like a kid's dream, Alk.
You never know.
Better to say no or just to swap in. It's fine.
I don't think no, because like Gastrodon's like really low HP, so he's probably gonna die. Goodness. It's like 10 seconds.
Yeah, it's all good.
Spatchel.
So you lead Yanma in this fight.
X6 underscore Killa underscore XX is also an NPC. All right, it'd be a different name then. It'd be something that's obviously online. Yeah, those are the ones that always reward 100 merit points.
Yeah, that's like the best way to get like evolution stones in this game. Otherwise, you're just like kind of relying on chance. I mean, you're relying on chance for the satchels anyway. But like, if you collect enough merit points, like
Not necessarily. Well, I mean,
for Tumblestone, that's what I'm
find
saying.
them. It depends on how many points they have. Yeah, it's kind of random. That was actually okay.
Fascinating.
Whatever, bro. Whatever you say, man.
Thank God you got the fourth Tangela. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
kind
these
of. Otherwise, I would have needed to see him use ancient power there.
Yeah, basically we had the Yanmas and Yanmegas can basically just counter Ingo's team
I
perfectly.
say good. It sounds weird that I'm saying good because my thing died, but I actually really wanted it to die for momentum reasons.
Exactly. Again, yeah, this is just like one of those scenarios that Kyle was kind of talking about earlier, where like the battles are kind of set up where like they kill our Pokemon and then we kill theirs, and they kill ours, we kill theirs. It kind of just how it goes sometimes in some of these fights.
That'll kill. That'll kill.
That looked close. That looked really close. I'll take it. But yeah, the Tanglo was actually supposed to kill the Yanma, but it didn't. It had some difficulties hitting the 70% stun spore, as we all do.
Usually you'll just go for the Sun Spore and then it'll instantly just ancient power you, knock you out. You swap into
And
Yanmega,
you-
kill it, and then
You hope you don't. You hope it doesn't get the 20% Omni boost.
Yeah.
And yes, it's 20% in this game.
Yeah, kind of annoying.
Yeah, about to get our second to last mount. We're gonna be able to climb up things with our awesome Sneasler.
With a side ponytail and a fresh Manny. She's wonderful. I love
Yeah, they're just chilling. All right, so
Yeah, Sneasler
Gligar.
is technically not required to progress in this area. I know it looks like it to casuals, but there's actually a way to get to the end of the area without ever getting to the Sneasler. But we're gonna do it anyway. We're gonna see.
Yeah, Gligar is one of those Pokemon. We're about to do Gligar. It's one of those Pokemon that you really would like to get two different genders of. There is a backup if you can't, but it makes it a lot more clean. You need to catch 4 Gligar, all unspotted, with 2 different genders to finish it, or you may have to catch 6 potentially if things don't go well. And there are only so many spawns, so hopefully, yeah, it just doesn't go too bad.
And sometimes catching unspotted might sound harder than it is, but when you're self spray, they literally, as long as you don't run into their vision, they will literally just not even pay attention to you at all. So you can kind of just see, like in that, he kind of just saw you because how it kind of ran into his vision slightly.
Yeah.
Not that you meant to do that. Obviously, I'm just.
Yeah,
It was.
just
You just did it. You just did it to
edge
prove my
guarding me,
point.
man.
You just did it to help explain my situation that I was explaining.
How did that one not see me? That was weird. Also, I usually verbally say out loud the genders.
Female, male. There you go.
Yeah, this one you can tell with the end of its tail, the bottom of its tail, the male will actually have a
Bro,
bigger.
I don't even know that. Dude,
It'll have a bigger part on the bottom, and then the female is actually a smaller part on the bottom. Nose pass cameo.
I don't think I've ever thrown a ball out of nose pass in a Pokemon PLA speedrun.
The funny thing about them is that they always point north unless they're disturbed. They're always facing north. Come on, get out of here. Any percent Razor Claw. Ooh, that's blood boiling. Because we sit there, we kill and catch so many Sneasels just to try to get 2 Razor Claws. And the fact that it gave me one out of the way, I promise I'm not mad.
Yeah, this is normal.
Do you actually promise though? Because I don't know if I don't think I believe you.
Nice. There was also a cool thing too. I don't know if we really talk about that, but there's the how solid he got the little short shake right there with the Haunter, and when you get the short shake like that, it's
2 hours in.
yeah, it's kind of crazy. But we've been catching things for 2 hours. But
hi Rotom.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, like 10% Rotom or something. These spawns are either Misdreavus or Rotom, and Misdreavus is basically like guaranteed to just be here.
All right, we're good.
As long as those got in, that is a Misdreavus finish. Definitely one of the fastest you can do in the game, if that goes well. So very nice and very clean.
Alright, so I've only got a couple of Scatterbangs here, so I gotta be
True, just a couple.
Make sure you don't run out. Be careful.
Very precise these days. We got the Roly homies. The Sui Voltorbs.
There we go. And now, assuming everything that we think is done, we'll be out of here.
hopefully.
I think
it's kind of a
everything
gamble,
is.
but
Yeah, worst comes to worst, there's a very easy backup with Ghastly and Crimson Marlins if things go really weird. So.
And I did catch Nose Pass, so I mean,
Yeah, that extra.
Pick anything quick.
Yep.
I never really thought about that. For all lords, just dipping and not going for Skunk Tank
It's
at
all I've been able to think about, man, because I'm like, Skuntank, we literally don't use him until after Avalugg, so it's like it's
Saves
the
a
perfect thing.
lot
It's the
of
only thing
time.
you have to stay down for.
Yeah.
And another one of those fights where we just have Yanma's perfect for this fight, just has a rock move, kills Zubat.
Yeah, we just have to be careful though, because part of finishing Yanmega is we need an ancient power on it. So that's why he's opting to attack the Skuntank here to guarantee the range.
So yeah, it makes it so like that served many purposes.
Yeah. Yeah, so we get
Skunk Tank also, yeah, go ahead, Bob.
we get the ancient power here, so we can guarantee finish Yanmega, and then we die here to flamethrower, and then we come back in Earth Power with Gastrodon and we win the fight.
And normal 80%, getting these flamethrowers is actually good on Skunk Tank. It's a task for Skunk Tank to use, for you to see it use flamethrower. And defeating them with the ground moves is also a task. So 80% it would be relevant, but right now it's not. But just learn that a little bit.
Flamethrower is actually double point for whatever reason.
So I don't know if they got mentioned, I was kind of focused, but like the other purpose of doing that ancient power on Skuntank specifically is that range I just went for on range, but Earth Power on Skuntank is not great to kill it. Even at level 40, like I could do strong, but I guess I could have used strong because the run ends before I see the research. There's reasons.
No, I think what you did is fine. Yeah.
Yeah, but it helped me to avoid to not even have that be a range, and like I had to stall anyway, so it was just the perfect thing to do.
And same way that you can die on the Skunk Tank fight before that we're talking about, it's the same way you can die on this. If it just crits you with Night Slash, or it can randomly just go for a strong Night Slash, and it can just be really weird. And it's nice to just avoid all that together by just getting the one-hit KO.
Yeah, I did dodge the Bismagius successfully. It's not that I can't do it. Sometimes this game makes me do things I'm uncomfortable with, but sometimes I just got to prove that I can still do it. Sometimes, you're called upon to prove that you can still do things like that. And this is one of those runs where there's a very silly possibility here with skipping Skuntank and the like. But it was worth trying, I think.
I think if Misdreavus was literally anywhere else in the game, you would just always go for it.
Yeah. It is so quick. I was like, wait, when I discovered it, I'm like, wait, this is literally just 3 catches unspotted. It's so easy.
Yeah, I take back the Arcanine being the easiest. I forgot the Voltorb or
Yes,
Electrode existed.
I was thinking that.
This one's pretty simple. Yeah.
You just go around.
Yeah. It basically just has this cycle where eventually it'll jump to the middle. It's kind of random when it does that, but it basically will have this where it shoots this at you every single time. You just eat that because it does like no damage, and then it just does this little shaking stuff where it just drops all these Voltorbs everywhere around you. And basically, this is actually where having headphones is pretty clutch because you can kind of hear which side it's dropping on in your headphones pretty clearly. So, and same thing with earlier, just gets invulnerable for a little bit, throws some bombs up, and then it just goes right back to doing that same cycle. And it'll keep doing. And we actually won't see what it does after this, but it basically just keeps doing this until it does like it's kind of like a nuke animation or a nuke attack that it does where it flies up in the air and just slams back down on you and just does so much damage.
Yeah, because a lot of us spent our childhoods in Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, we call it the tactical nuke. Because once it happens, if you took any hits from the Voltorbs, it will kill you, I think, unless you dodge it. So it's a game ender, just like the Modern Warfare 2 tactical.
Right.
So, but yeah, like headphones mandatory for speedrunning this, like because just the informational advantage of being able to hear exactly around where the Voltorbs are landing is just so helpful.
Not even though just with the Voltorbs, like with stuff in general in the run, like just being able to hear like, oh, you throw a Pokeball at this Golduck and you ran your 30 yards past it now, but you heard it click and now it's in and now you know that. So it's just the sound cues are huge.
People have been saying like, oh, you're just running off, and I'm like, how do you know you caught it? I'm like, I'm listening. Like even if I don't call it out, even if I'm speaking, I will like instinctively like notice, oh, I didn't hear the poof, the smoke puff and the click. So something broke out and I have to make some kind of reroute decision now. It's a natural primal reaction to miss that sound now. Like I could be doing anything and miss the sound and acknowledge it.
What about it's still nighttime, by the way?
Yeah.
And you could technically, it will show up on the screen eventually, but like if you're in a spot where you're catching lots of stuff, you may have noticed that like it takes a long time to update. And so if you're not listening, then like it may take like 5-10 seconds for you to notice that you caught something. So yeah, it's just required basically to have audio knowledge. And we'll see if we're in here.
Great. I also got Scyther.
This is the end of the catching section. We do not really catch any more Pokemon from here because this is
very
nice.
Very nice.
This is the threshold.
And Tingling and Nose Pass was mandatory.
Pass made the difference.
Nose Pass came in clutch, said nobody ever.
So it's crazy because you literally need 8,500 to get to rank 5. So it's so crazy to me that it feels like we're doing so much, but we're literally just doing the bare minimum to finish the game.
I've always said 8,500 is really high to get out of Highlands. Like it's the reason I actually stopped playing the game for a week and I wasn't like playing it on release like everyone else was, because my method of playing the game casually was I would try to explore the whole map and catch one of every new thing I saw. And as you've seen in this run, you could see how that could have fallen apart very quickly. But it got me through the first couple areas, but I was 1,000 points under where I needed to get out of Corner Highlands. And I just screw that. I don't want to play anymore. And then I got out and I'm like, okay, I guess I got to get points for the next area. And I'm like, wait, there's no point thresholding? I think 8,500 should have been the number to get out of Alabaster. And they should have introduced 7,000 or 7,200 or something as a threshold to get out of Coronet. Because 8,500 is steep.
Yeah. So 8,500 is what you need to actually get into, not only to hit rank 5, but you can't get into the last area, Alabaster Islands, unless you are rank 5. So yeah, it would actually be interesting if, at the end of Alabaster, we had to have another threshold, because that would probably just open up a whole other floodgate of just different Pokemon we could maybe do.
I'm actually curious. Yeah. Did we run the timer the whole time during the break?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, I'm actually gonna cross-check it with speedrun.com because that was really fast in Coronet.
Yeah, that was this might, we could be pacing here, literally.
Yeah, because most of the even though I said the current Beat Cleaver record, not Beat Cleaver, All Lords record usually comes from the 90% record. still, most All Lords records come from any percent runs.
Yes.
And any percent runs need to get Skuntank. So it's very rare to have the privilege to be able to just walk right by him unless you're doing a GDQ showcase or running All Lords specifically.
So you're telling me I won't get my Swinub cameo?
No, sir. I'm going to withdraw my other Sneasel, Gastrodon, and Haunter. That's it. Actually, I don't even know if I need to withdraw the other Sneasel. I don't think I do.
This whole 8,500 being way too high for Highlands debacle made me look at one of my first runs in 7 hours and 49 minutes. And I remember my strategy was to finish Highlands as fast as possible, and I came out of Electrode with 6680. And then spent an hour and 20 minutes just doing random stuff in Highlands.
An hour and 20 to get to 1,900 more points? Oh, how times have changed.
I love the early game routing.
Oh, how
That's the fun part, though. I mean, the early days of games is when it can be really hype.
Yeah, I just realized that looking at my Twitch VOD is not going to help because, like I said, it was an 90% run. So the timer on screen is an 80% run. And I don't feel like doing that mental math right now. So I'm just going to let it be a surprise as to what pace we're on. The current world record for All Lords is 2:34.34. And the run ends as soon as the game fades to black after I beat Avalug.
It's coming up pretty soon, honestly. Alabaster is definitely one of the faster. It's probably the fastest area for sure. I mean, we're not catching anything, so it makes sense, but
We could.
we could if we wanted to.
Glalie is like right there.
Alpha
But I didn't
Sneasel.
I don't have anything to do the triple battle with.
Yeah.
Unless I want to catch Swine. We'll be fine.
Imagine how bad it feels though if you're actually on record pace and you did that.
I mean, that's a way for it to go. I mean, honestly, like this run has been very, very good. And, like I'm happy that it's even like, you know, because
Absolutely, yeah,
I'm gonna keep it real. I've been playing catch 'em all like on the weekends, and I haven't played any percent or anything 80% of Jason in well over like a week and a half, 2 weeks. And like I haven't even had time to play this game during the week days, like only on the weekends. So the fact that this is even this good is really, really making me happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think both of the double Geodude Evo and the attempt to finish without the kill both happen in your record as well as this run. And
Yeah,
that's like it's like a major game changer to save that much
I
time.
got double Togepi.
Oh yeah,
You're
so
my 80% record.
yes.
All Lord's record was a bit more honest.
Mhm.
And it was like 45 seconds ahead of 80% record, but you know, I didn't close it out because Dialga said no. I missed Hypnosis
Sad.
and like missed every coin flip for like 5 balls.
This is so sad.
235 will come.
It was
Or
such a good
335.
run too. Like I could have afforded like one, you know, missed coin flip, but not 5. That's okay.
Normally, yeah. This is literally our team for the end game that we're about to pull out here. So these mons that we have now are literally going to stay with us from now to the end of the game. Obviously, we're not going to get there, but so yeah. When's your pull? So like in the 80% run, when you're pulling these mons out, you're actually, well, we would use a replay buffer, but you're actually kind of looking at their stats. Specifically, you're looking at attacks and speeds on your Sneasels. Just kind of see what kind of ranges and well, the ranges you can't really control, but the speed actually matters a lot with your Sneasels, because if you have minus speed on your Sneasels,
You can get us
some very-
some bad things.
yeah, from bad things, and bad things can happen. And yeah, like I'm thinking Dialga, I'm thinking Benny, I'm thinking just other things.
Gudra.
Komodo is the
Gudra.
most important
Komodo, yes.
because the strategy we employ to fight Komodo doesn't work if your Sneasel is too slow.
Yeah, basically how action speed works is like it divvies up your speed into like brackets when it does the speed calculation. And so if you miss the bracket, I think the one we're talking about here is at 180 exactly when it rolls over to the next bracket. It's a big deal. You lose a lot of like action
I
speed.
think the next bracket's 182, but at this point, the Sneasels will get like one more level before Komodo. So you just want to see 180 plus at this point, because
yeah.
then when you level up, you'll be good.
Yeah,
but
so-
essentially, just to kind of give a loose explanation of the battle system, basically, like Head Bob said, all those Pokemon that are contained within brackets are assigned a action speed value that basically determines like you know, where they fall in a timer that counts up from 0. and the faster your speed is, the lower your action speed is. So let's say Sneasel's 3 and Glalie 8. It starts counting from 0 and it'll hit 3, Sneasel's turn. It'll hit 6, Sneasel's turn. Then it'll hit 8 and it's Glalie's turn. And then it'll be Sneasel's turn again at 9, and then at 12, and then 15, and it'll be Glalie's turn again at 16. So every 8 or every interval of your action speed is basically how the battle system works. And then agile and strong style moves influence that, and moves like quick attack have a similar influence. So like I said, a very loose explanation.
It's very complicated, and there actually isn't a lot of documentation around it. Unlike anywhere.
Most of the documentation's in Japanese, and like it wasn't really like peer reviewed or like thoroughly scientifically tested.
Yeah.
But it seems to hold up for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Just some niche edge cases that are weird.
Yep. And sadly, all those battles that we could lose, we actually need to win these battles in this area. So.
But this is another one of those spots where I get to talk to the Twitch chat, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
Oh, this area is empty, brother. Go ahead. We're literally just speedrunning now. Just no research tasks. I'm playing a video game as fast as I can.
You are playing the game as fast as you can, which is what we do here on the Games Done Quick channel. And if you missed any of it, you too can check out all of the VODs that we do here on Hotfix over at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. You can check out all the events we do. You can check out the VODs. You can check it all out at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. You can also check out this week's schedule of all the different runs that we have here on GDQ at gamesdonequick.com/hotfix. Check out this season's schedule.
Absolutely.
GDQ standing for
segues.
Was that a 9 segue?
I give it a 9.
No.
At least an 8.
You directly tied in what I said right before, and used it to your advantage.
To my advantage, yeah.
Oh, I see that satchel right in the middle, but I'm not going to go for it.
You're ruining dreams. You're a dream ruiner.
On your path. Look, man, they could be anywhere on the map, and we should just acknowledge how great it is that 2 of them just happen to be right in my way.
It's true. How often, how many do you usually get? Do you have like a satchel count? Because that would be a good stream bit.
That's a good question, because it actually ties into Catch 'em All. Essentially, the length of a pretty top level Catch 'em All runner, you actually only get so many satchels to spawn in because they only spawn in every couple hours. So by the 8-hour mark, 9-hour mark, you've only got enough satchel spawn in to be able to buy 1 evolution item from the Merit Point store. So at this point in the game, there's only like 1 per area. Maybe in another hour, there might be 2. Another 2 hours, there might be 4. But only 4 will ever be on any given map at once. And even if... I worked the wrong place, it's fine. Even if you've got a full map and you just let hours and hours and hours pass by, it will kind of like keep those in reserves for when you pick them up, and when you leave and re-enter the area, you'll have those there. But it is like playtime based, so it's kind of unfortunate for Catch 'em All that like we couldn't just earn more satchels to get more evolution items. Like, we're literally locked on time. But it works pretty well. It works.
Yep. And the cool thing with this game, like at this point too, it kind of flips from like the catching, and now it kind of turns in this area. It kind of turns to more of a like traditional Pokemon speedrun, honestly, like where you're just kind of literally just beating the game as fast as you can. You don't have to do anything else. Just do what you got to do to get to the end.
It can't be understated how few battles there are in this game compared to other Pokemon games. Like, let's say, I think the last time I read the notes for like a Gen 3 game, like Sapphire, Ruby, or something like that, it had 115 fights. This game maybe has 11 mandatory fights. Like, I can't remember off the top of my head. It's like 10% of the amount of fights that other games have that are mandatory that you have to do.
And like before this point, there's like what, 2 that are mandatory?
Yeah.
Or like there's more, like 3 or 4.
I have enough fingers to count them at this point.
Yeah.
To like win, you're saying?
Yeah, you have to win.
To win, yeah, that's different. That's a different story entirely. So I do actually have smoke bombs, so I can use them to get past the alley.
Yep.
Yes.
Smoke bomb is kind of just a random thing you can get from like a chest.
Now that is an invisibility potion, But
Yes.
while you're standing within the radius of a smoke bomb, you cannot be seen, but you can be heard. So yes, a stealth spray plus a smoke bomb is an invisibility potion.
So is this the Gallade that you would normally catch in order to for the rest of the run?
For Volo, yeah. Because it just has such a good move pool.
Okay, he's kind of put in a spot where it's kind of really hard to get past him without any sort of extra help from items. It's like he's like really likely to see you.
Yeah, majority of the time wherever it spawns, if you don't have a cell spray or a smoke bomb, it's gonna knock you down.
Smoke bombs are even better because you don't have to open them and you can use it. It's a throw.
Yes, definitely. And they're also more effective, I think.
Yeah. These answers are obviously maybe they wasn't
Yeah, because
obvious.
like
I'm sorry.
it was the
but these
reason I was
answers are always the
explaining.
same.
Yeah, it's always the same. The reason why smoke bombs are better is the same reason why I said I was scared of the Mismagius, because like, yeah, I can't be heard, but this thing turns randomly because it's governed by RNG. But if I just take out the ability for it to see me, or matter of fact, even better, I can control which way it's looking. Because when it hears me, it's going to turn towards
That is
the source of the
all
noise.
pro.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh. Wow.
That Gallade is playing all pro defense.
Yeah, and
Actually, he's not going all pro because he didn't hit
Pro
you,
was-
but
True.
playing goalie.
literally.
But too good.
I don't know
but
that
yeah,
he could have been put in a worse spot, actually.
Yeah.
And to be clear, it won't
Yeah.
kill you or anything, but like it does knock
It's
you
4
down and you
seconds.
lose. Yeah, 4 seconds if it knocks you down. So, it's not the end of the world, obviously, but you know, at the top end, that 4 seconds absolutely can matter. So,
So therefore, like the only RNG I dealt with was where he spawned. Because like I said, when a Pokemon hears you, you can control where you make the noise that it turns to look at. And then once it hears a noise, that it has to wait like 3 seconds before it can turn again or hear a new noise. So it's pretty easy to just kind of take advantage of that. Whereas with a stealth spray, you're just hoping it doesn't randomly decide to turn and look at you.
Yeah.
Plus, you have to open up the menu, and it's rough.
Savvy tries to throw the Avengers at us, but little does she know we have a squad.
We have a hard counter to this fight. Its name is Gastrodon.
It really does get walled by like literally any drop pick, huh?
Yeah, this Electivire has only electric moves. So
Probably
if this
couldn't-
guy goes down, there's nothing he can do to us.
Have you ever gotten high horsepower miss in this fight? I have.
I'm sure I have, but it's actually
Not
like,
that- it's not that
helpful-
devastating.
It's helpful if I'm in this situation. No, actually, I thought I missed. I got missed on by Thunderwave. But if Electivire misses Thunderwave and then Rapier hits high horsepower, or you just hit the paralysis, it actually is a faster fight, I think. Because you could just win the fight with Sneasel, technically. The only reason we don't use Sneasel all the way is because strong close combat's a range of Rapier. We used to. Back when we used like maybe Alpha. Even at 56, like it's not a terrible range.
Would it be crazy to think that Gastrodon can win the fight by itself?
Wait, who am I leading?
Gastrodon.
Is it really Gastrodon? God, I'm sorry. Go, Gastrodon, you can do it, baby. Show me tomato. All right, good turn. We're spot. You did great. You intimidated him, Gastrodon. Good job.
Wait, I thought abilities weren't in this game.
Anyways. Anyways.
Tomato, tomato, tomato.
I actually expected to lose a lot more from that, so I'll take it. Good to know that's like hardly a problem. Anyways, time to pay attention.
Yeah, there's
Now we're
razors
basically at the
everywhere.
end. Now we're gonna get our final mount. We can fly around everywhere now. This is awesome.
What is the timer at currently?
231.42 on the stream.
231? 32?
But you're just now knocking out the bravery.
Just past 232.
I think this is barely not it. I think these cutscenes still take a while. It's gonna be like a minute and a half, 2 minutes for me to win the fight. But it's gonna be close.
Yeah, like I said, the timing does end as soon as it fades to black after Avalog. It's coming up the next like 5 minutes, so.
I mean, the fact that this random run where I got off from work like 30 minutes before the run started. I was like hurrying to get my camera set up and get the stream set up. And I'm like, I guess I have a little bit of time to run around Fieldlands and Coastlands. Yeah, the fact that I almost just got world record live on GDQ was interesting. I think it really just was thrown off by dust clops.
You also waited because we did have the little bit of a break. You did not spam through the cutscene. I don't think, right? Did you?
For like a second because we actually went back in like immediately after the cutscene was over. Like you said we were taking a full break, so I was ready to like take my hands off the controller. And then Richard said just go. I'm like, you mean it? Because that means I can submit this if it's good. So I was really excited about that. I'm like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we didn't even.
Not doing anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we didn't even go to the break scene, so you could still submit this.
Yeah, it's like completely uninterrupted.
Wee.
So what
it's
I
very
did
cool,
there,
like
developed by discovered by Shenanigans, famous Arceus runner.
Famous plays every Pokemon game ever.
So he was the first person I ever saw do what I just did, where you can actually cancel Braviary's Ascent by like double tapping start. It was kind of helpful there because I don't need to see it fly all the way up because I don't need all that height. But yeah, Shenanigans, he got his sub 4 and he dipped, but like getting a sub 4 in any percent means you know what you're doing at the very least. So he's somebody I would consider a knowledgeable person in the game. Especially like back when he got the sub 4 was not common.
Yeah, Shin has knowledge in every game. Like I feel like you could have a conversation with him. He could just tell you.
He's so out of the box with his thinking. He's like, all right, so with a barrel, if you use Aqua Tail and then Strong Bite, I'm like, brother, what? Dude, what are you talking about? Like he would have been a phenomenal shiny charm runner if he ever tried it, because like everything like he ever came up with was like, that's great in the back. Like he's so creative, and I don't know, watching him play, like you can see that creativity. Or like, you're like, where's it going? But you're still confused. But I mean, it got sub 4, so for the time that was amazing, and it still holds up very well. Sub 4 is not easy.
Why not? It's so easy to just like lose time, so much time in just random places this way. Just like
I don't know if I made this look easy or not, but if this was an 80% run, this would be like a 337. So
that's pretty good.
It's all right, but I mean,
I think the best part about this run so far has been like how you have made it look accessible. Like I feel like a lot of the cool speed runs out there that we love, not to throw in some names, but like Super Metroid or Link to the Past, where it's like once you get going, it's up to you to get good at it. It's like not a barrier of entry where it's like you need to learn these millions of frame perfect tricks and then you're just doomed if you mess one up. It's
I'm literally just a dude playing the game. Like, that's what I like about this game is like it doesn't require a metronome to be next to me. It doesn't require me to like set my system time to a certain time. Like I pick up the game, I open a profile on my Switch, and I just go. Like I just play the game. And that's why
time's gonna be coming up very quickly. By the way,
one of the things I love. Yeah. Okay, here's the last Noble Avalon.
Yeah, but that is also one of my favorite things about the later Gen games, Gen 6 onward for Pokemon. Every single game from Gen 6 onward is actually manipless, so you don't have to worry about any of those frame perfect tricks. I'd recommend any of the Switch runs to anybody, this one especially, but all the Switch runs are very fun, and I would say they're beginner friendly.
Just don't do them all at once, please, God.
No Poke Gauntlet.
Yeah, I messed up.
Rolls right off the tongue.
Oh, yeah, that dodge was buffered. I didn't do that one. Or not when it looked like I did it.
You do a cool little trick here. We're going to take a little bit of damage as his ice beam's coming through.
Oh, I got knocked down by it. That's really bad. It's like 10 seconds. Get up. Wakey. Come on. Get back up, buddy. A lot farther from the crystal than I thought it was.
It's all good, though. Finish it out strong here.
A bit more of those up throws because I'm great at this game and definitely wasn't going to kill him earlier than this. All right, and time.
G.
What was the time?
GG. It is I just need to wait one moment here.
237, it seems like.
It's a 2:37:18.
All right, so I lied. That'd be like a 338 and 80%. But still, that's still very good for a showcase.
Awesome. Definitely.
Absolutely incredible. So much fun. Thank you once again, Halk, for showcasing this game. I was really pumped that you said yes, that you wanted to showcase it, just because I think that this is, again, the best Pokemon game to come out in the last decade, and there's a lot of cool stuff that you could do in it, and you are the most knowledgeable when it comes to this game, so I'm glad we got to showcase it.
I love this game, and I want the best for this game. Like, I've even gone on record to say, like, even if we've had an argument in the past, if we've had some trouble, if you want to learn this game, I will teach you, because I care about this game more than I care about my own personal feelings towards somebody. This game is just so important, and I want to see it grow. So if anybody's interested in learning, just be sure to join my streams, or join Truly or Headbob's stream. They're both very knowledgeable, as they demonstrated here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's a fantastic speedrun, and it's just I mentioned it briefly at the beginning, but I will never be perfect at this game. And that's what makes it so interesting. It's because there's always something I could be improving, especially when there's other categories like Catch 'em All and Shiny Charm to run. But yeah, I mainly play this game. I also have the world record for Scarlet and Violet, but I play that a lot less now because,
this game's better.
But it's a little
leave it at that.
But yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yes,
Thanks for
thank you so much for joining us here and showcasing this game. Please, everybody who is watching, please go give Halkari a follow. You can follow him. You can click the name in the description. You can also click the pinned chat message. Definitely go give him a follow. What have you been playing on your channel besides this game? Have you playing anything else? I
recently completed a run where I did all 5 Switch games back to back and did it in under 20 hours. I was really proud of that.
You did Gauntlet. You did the Gauntlet.
Yeah, I run all the Switch games, but I'm mostly proficient with this one. This is by far my main. But I also am contractually obligated to say I'm good at Scarlet and Violet. It says it right here in the papers.
It's on the piece of paper says I have to say that. Well, seriously, again, everybody, please go give Halka a follow, and Headbob and Truly. What about you? What do you do on your shows, and what can they find if they give you a follow?
Headbob's got something really interesting going on.
So right now we're currently in the middle of a massive XY reroute, Pokemon XY. So I've been working on that, trying to get the world record in that game. It's really exciting to, it's more consistent and faster. So I'm just doing runs of that, hopefully get a good time.
Headbob's like the 3DS goat. He's got
Headbob's insane in every game he plays. I've been running I haven't really been running anything lately, but when I have been speedrunning, I've been focusing on the Switch games, just like how he plays all 5. I have been playing them and just trying to get better at them. So yeah, if you check out my stream, that's probably what you would see.
Competition for the fastest overall sum of PBs.
Yeah,
so that's been fun that's been fun to help motivate everybody to improve.
Absolutely. And it's really fun. So if you catch me in any of my streams, that's probably what I'll be playing at any given time. Maybe this game, maybe Scarlet Violet, maybe any of them. So I guess we'll see.
Well, thank you both for the commentating. It was a great time, and with that, that's going to be it for this first little section of the GDQ Hotfix tonight. Once again, my name is Jiggy, and before we go, I want to tell you about one of our other upcoming events that we have coming on here. We have GDQ's International Transgender Day of Visibility celebration. That's going to be a weekend highlighting transgender speedrunners on March 29th and 30th. You can use !trans visibility in the chat for more info on that show. I'm definitely pumped for it. It's going to be a blast. And yeah, thank you once again for hanging out. My name is Jiggy. I love bringing you guys these awesome GDQ Hotfix specials. My next special will be on the 16th. Oops, all Pikmin. So I hope that you guys will come by for a whole 8 hours of Pikmin speedruns. That'll be here on the GDQ Hotfix. Don't go anywhere though, because when we come back, Awfully Silly. Oh, I'm sorry. When we come back, Express Lane will be here, and Awfully Silly will be back in 3 weeks on March 25th at its normal time, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Before we go,
stay tuned.
I want to make it known I caught 3 combies. They were all female.
That's rare, actually. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I don't know what a male combi is.
Yeah.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for having us, Tucker. It was fun.